Yo, what's up, everyone? It's Legacy Shinobi here, back with another mind-blowing what if. Today, we're blending two legendary universes into one epic crossover. What if Naruto became Yoda's apprentice after being betrayed? This story is packed with heartbreak, growth, and a galaxy full of action that you won't want to miss. If you're ready for an epic journey filled with redemption, lightsabers, and unstoppable power, hit that like button, share this video, and subscribe for more legendary what-ifs. Let's jump into it. The beginning, current year, 1 BBY. The Galactic Empire reigns supreme in the galaxy. Every corner of the galaxy, from the inner core worlds to the outer rim regions, submitted to the iron will of Emperor Palpatine. But all would soon change, however. In his exile, Obi-Wan Kenobi, master of the Jedi Order, had been receiving visions about a blonde boy on some unknown planet. Visions that troubled him every night. He gasped in his sleep and woke up. There, upon waking up, he saw the spirit of his late master, Qui-Gon Jinn. Master Qui-Gon, care to tell an old man the meaning behind these visions? Obi-Wan asked his late master. The visions you see, Obi-Wan, are about the future. About a young boy with great potential who would one day build a new Jedi Order. Qui-Gon replied. A new Jedi Order? Yes, a new one. He is strong in the Force, Obi-Wan. That is why the Force is calling out to you, showing you visions. You must get to him before the dark side does. And am I to train the boy like I did Anakin? Obi-Wan asked, and his master just chuckled lightly. No, I'm afraid that task is up to Master Yoda. Master Yoda? Will he want? Oh, I've already spoken with him. He somewhat reluctantly accepted to take the boy as his apprentice. You must hurry, Obi-Wan. The boy will be in great pain soon and susceptible to the dark side. I'm on it, Master. Obi-Wan replied as he prepared to get a ship to travel first to Yoda and then get the boy. Valley of the End. Between the feet of the giant stone statues of Madara Uchiha and Hashirama Senju was a great battle between two friends. Previously, Sasuke Uchiha, last loyal member of his clan, had defected to Orochimaru after the promise of power. An easy task, given that the Uchiha would do anything if it meant having the power to kill his older brother. He was escorted out of the Leaf Village by Orochimaru's loyal henchman, the Sound Four. The fifth Hokage, Tsunade Senju, had dispatched a team of genin led by newly made Chunin Shikamaru Nara as leader. The team consisted of Choji Akimichi, Niji Hyuga, Kiba Inuzuka, and Sasuke's best friend, Naruto Uzumaki. The team was unprepared for the task they would inevitably face. Choji used his clan's secret pills to defeat his opponent, Jirobo, and suffer chakra exhaustion. Niji Hyuga nearly died fighting his opponent. Kidamaru and both Kiba and Shikamaru would have died had it not been for the timely arrival of the Sand siblings. The Jin and Rock Lee had come to assist the Wretch rival team and face off Kimamaru and would have died had it not been for Gaara. Currently, Naruto Uzumaki, using the nine-tailed fox's chakra, faced his rival/best friend, Sasuke Uchiha. Stop this, Sasuke. Please listen to me. No, you don't get it. Revenge is the only thing that matters to me, Naruto, and the leaf isn't giving me any power to get that dream. Sasuke shouted to his friend. Orochimaru will only use you, Sasuke. Come back with us to the leaf. Back to me, Sakura, and Kakashi-sensei. Do you know how much you hurt Sakura? Why should I care about that pink-haired hoe? Sasuke shouted in anger, shocking Naruto at his words. Why do you care so much about me anyways? Because you are my best friend. Best friend, huh? Then I'll just have to sever that bond. Chidori. Sasuke shouted as the black Chidori came to life on his left hand. Here I come, Naruto. Sasuke. Naruto shouted the name of his best friend as his right arm came to life with the Rasengan. As the two powerful jutsu clashed, Naruto hesitated in the last moment, giving Sasuke the edge. Sasuke's Chidori destroyed Naruto's right arm and then left a mark on the blonde's right side of his face, damaging the skull and brain. Naruto clutched his arm in pain, just as Sasuke came back and impaled Naruto in the back. You know, I never considered you a best friend. In fact, I always considered you to be an inferior insect that was barely tolerable. Only shame is that your death won't give me the Mangekyo Sharingan that I desire. Sasuke taunted his former friend as Naruto's lifeless body fell into the river. Oh, being Hokage was your wish, wasn't it, Naruto? Maybe, after I kill Itachi, I'll become Hokage. What do you think? Nice. A sudden burst of orange light shocked Sasuke as he quickly reactivated his curse seal stage 2. He saw Naruto come up again. His skin tearing as blood-red chakra was enveloping him. What is this? Sasuke asked in fear as Naruto came and punched Sasuke hard across the river. Sasuke tried to get up, but Naruto's left arm grabbed his head and dragged it across the valley. Naruto threw Sasuke down and pinned him down with his chakra tails. Naruto tore Sasuke's wings and started punching Sasuke multiple times. Sasuke begged Naruto to stop, but the blonde Uzumaki would not listen to his pleas. Naruto plunged a tailed beast chakra empowered punch onto Sasuke's stomach and then finally slipped into unconsciousness. Kakashi Hatake arrived in time to see Naruto deal the blow to Sasuke and then fell unconscious. Naruto? No. If only I arrived sooner. Kakashi thought as he came to his students and grabbed them. He put Naruto's unconscious body over his back and dragged Sasuke across the mud back to the leaf. He had to hurry as his student, the legacy of his late teacher, was in serious need of medical assistance. Foundation HQ. Thanks to a hidden spy in the Hokage's office, Danzo got the report of the Sasuke retrieval mission before the Leafs Council were made aware of. He looked over on the reports with great interest. It is clear to me that the Uzumaki possesses greater potential than the Uchiha. He would make a fine asset to my foundation, but that which Tsunade won't allow him near me. I need a plan that will make the Uzumaki willingly join me, but what would that plan be? After much thinking, an idea popped up in his head and an evil smirk spread across his lips. Uzumaki is close to his friends. I will use the Kodowa Matsukami on his friends that will turn them against him. And when Uzumaki is at his lowest point, I will come like a friend and bring him over to my side. A foolproof plan. Hospital. Next day, the Sasuke retrieval team members were taken care of in the hospital. Rock Lee was in a separate room, taken care of by his teammates, while Team 8 and 10, minus Shikamaru and Choji, shared the same room. Currently, a heated debate was raging between Ino, Kiba, and Sakura. The Haruno wanting to punish Naruto for going excessive on Sasuke, while Ino and Kiba defended Naruto's actions. I don't understand why you choose to side with Naruto Ino, especially after what he did to Sasuke. Sakura shouted at her friend/rival. I'm telling you, you're being too overdramatic, Sakura. Sure, Sasuke got injured, but it's nothing compared to Naruto's. At least Sasuke is still in one piece. Ino retorted back and left the room. Kiba too didn't want to stay any longer and was escorted out by Shino and Hinata, leaving Sakura behind. Sakura pouted in anger. That damn Ino pig thinks she can just betray Sasuke like this. It's all Naruto's fault. Sakura said as two cloaked Ambu brought Team 8 and Ino back into the room. Who are you? Who we are is of no concern. What you only need to know is that I have need of you, Danzo said as he entered and revealed his bandages. The next second, the minds of the Genins became shrouded in hazy fog and felt compelled to take action on Naruto. Night. Naruto was in his apartment packing his stuff. Not a whole lot since he never owned much. Earlier today, as he was getting treated, Sakura and Team 8 along with Ino came into his room, verbally abusing him and beating him up. Only the sudden appearance of Kakashi and Shikamaru stopped them. Naruto felt betrayed by this and decided to run away from the village. What was the point of staying in a village which hated him? He put the necklace Tsunade had given him on the table with a paper, apologizing for his action and hoping Tsunade will understand. On the table, he also put his forehead protector down. They never cared about me. Naruto muttered as he used the body flicker, made his way to the village walls, and made some shadow clones. The clones would spread out to divert the Leafs trackers. In Naruto's apartment, Danzo appeared on the door with 5 of his best Foundation ninja. He came with proposals of friendship, training, and power that would entice the young Uzumaki. Should he refuse, Danzo had the Kodowa Matsukami. The old Warhawk opened the door, but Naruto wasn't there. He caught sight of the note and instantly realized that Naruto was away. Call the others and dispatch. I want Uzumaki in my grasp before dawn. He can't be far. Danzo ordered, and the Foundation went off to do as told. About 2 hours of walking, Naruto decided to take a rest when a sound Nin grabbed his arm. 3 other sound ninja came to encircle him and Kabuto too out of his hiding place. "Kabuto, what are you doing?" Naruto asked, struggling to get out. "Oh, on our way to break Sasuke out of the leaf, Naruto. Have to say, Sasuke did quite a number on you. Lose an arm and that scar on your face. Surprised you can even move." Kabuto commented as he made his chakra scalpel to kill Naruto, revenge for the Rasengan that the blonde gave him when Orochimaru was to kill Tsunade. "Stop right there," said a Foundation Umbu with another one to back him up. "Give Uzumaki to us or face the consequences." How about no?" Kabuto smirked as he plunged his scalpel into Naruto's heart. The Sound Nin moved to battle the Foundation Umbu, and Kabuto too moved in. Inside the seal, the nine-tailed fox saw nothing but darkness envelop the mindscape. It was clear that his chakra was being sapped to the last ounce to fix Naruto, but much more was taken due to the blonde's anger. In truth, the fox was dying. "Curse you, fourth Hokage, for trapping me inside your son." The fox cursed the man and all of humanity as he joined oblivion. Back in the real world, everyone felt the large, evil chakra emanating from Naruto and stopped their battle. A tailed beast cloak enveloped Naruto, and despite the pain, Naruto's anger took complete control. The Jinchuriki ripped the Sound Ninja in half and tore through a Foundation Umbu. Naruto's claws sank deep into a Sound Nin, and he ripped the screaming ninja's throat. The Foundation Nin tried to talk, but Naruto ripped his head off from his body. Kabuto and the last Sound Nin tried to run, but were cornered by Naruto. The blonde Uzumaki ripped the terrified Sound Ninja in half, and Kabuto had his back against a tree. "Please, Naruto, show mercy." Kabuto begged, but Naruto would not listen. Naruto punched Kabuto hard across several trees, and then jumped on the medic. Naruto broke Kabuto's arms and began ripping and punching the medic Nin without mercy. After 3 minutes of pure manslaughter, there wasn't even anything of Kabuto to be identified. The fox's chakra fixed Naruto's brain and skull, bones, flesh, skin, and even the scar on his face, but at a price. Naruto lost his memories and fell down in unconsciousness. Up in the sky, a ship descended down onto the forest, and Obi-Wan came out to see the severely injured boy. "Unconscious the boy is. Take him to a medic center. Hurry, we must," Yoda told Obi-Wan, who nodded. The old Jedi Master put Naruto on immediate life support on his ship and started the engines, leaving this world behind and into the galaxy. Yoda's Apprentice. Space Station. Naruto's body was taken to a medical space station far away in the Outer Rim. After having a back-to-tank bath, he was then given a prosthetic arm and was lying on a bed. Yoda had hidden in one of the drawers as Obi-Wan in his disguise, as an old man had paid for the expenses. As Obi-Wan walked into the room, he saw THR unconscious boy still hadn't recovered from whatever damage he suffered on that backwater planet. He remarked how the scar on the blonde's face looked similar to a bird, particularly a raven. And a thought just came into Obi-Wan's head about how he could just swap A and E to form a name, Revan, like the famous knight of the old Republic era. There was a translator embedded into the boy's neck just in case he couldn't speak Galactic Basic. A medic droid came in to do the diagnostics. He should be waking up anytime soon. The medic droid replied, and Obi-Wan nodded his head. "What is his name, may I ask?" the droid asked, and Obi-Wan was thinking hard. He just realized that the boy's name was a mystery. Looking at the scar and the thought he had, he replied with Revan. The droid asked for his last name, to which Obi-Wan thought even harder till he looked at the coming sun. "Morningstar. Revan Morningstar. That's his name, Revan Morningstar," the droid remarked. "Parents, I'm afraid he's an orphan," Obi-Wan replied, not knowing the boy's parentage. "And I presume you are his guardian?" "Yes, indeed," Obi-Wan replied, and the droid left. "It's safe now, Master Yoda." The old Grandmaster of the Jedi Order came out of the drawer and onto the bed. "Very stuffy that drawer is. Miss my bed on Dagobah, I do," Yoda remarked just as the blonde boy woke up. "Easy boy, you were injured severely," Obi-Wan said, trying to ease the boy who gasped upon seeing Master Yoda. "What is that? Some frog monster?" the boy asked, to which Yoda hit him in the head. "Hey, what gives? Call me monster, you did. Great offense I take in that remark." Yoda replied. "And why do you talk like that? Can't you speak properly?" the boy asked, and Yoda hit him again. "Hey, Stop that. Talk too loudly, you do. Lower your volume. You must, Yoda replied with a smile. The blonde boy then caught sight of his cybernetic arm and gasped. What happened to my arm? He asked. When we found you, your arm was lost, and I don't know how it did. We brought you here, and the medics gave you a cybernetic replacement. Obi-Wan informed the boy. Thanks, I guess. Where are my manners? My name is Obi-Wan Kenobi, and this is Grandmaster Yoda. Care to tell us your name? I don't remember my name. Who am I? Till you can remember your name, from now on, you'll just have to go with Revan Morningstar. Can I remember my name or my life? What even is a cybernetic arm, and where am I anyways? The blonde boy now bestowed the name of Revan Morningstar asked. Obi-Wan and Yoda exchanged looks as they realized the boy was from some very primitive world with no knowledge of the galaxy. So they decide to tell him of what they know, the galaxy and such with his role in the future. So, I'm going to be a Jedi? Are you going to train me? Revan asked. Not me. Master Yoda will. I'll drop you two off to his home, Dagobah, where he'll train you in the Jedi ways. Obi-Wan replied. Really? This backwards talking guy? Much impatience in him, Obi-Wan. Great anger and hatred I sense deep inside him. Reckless he is. Yoda told Obi-Wan, sensing the great pent-up anger and hate that was buried deep inside the boy, unknown due to the boy's amnesia. Was I any different when you taught me, Master Yoda? You saw the visions. He is integral to the building of a new order. Obi-Wan reasoned, and that reminder was enough for Yoda. Very well. Train him. I will. Yoda said as he got inside the rigged astromech droid. Obi-Wan motioned for Revan to follow him, and they made their way out. Upon reaching the ship, Obi-Wan put Revan near him, and Yoda hid in the astromech as it took off for Dagobah. Dagobah, 2 weeks later. Master Yoda had taught Revan Galactic Basic before teaching him in the ways of the Force. It was necessary, as the boy was unaware of the galaxy's most spoken language. It took a week and a half for Revan to learn Basic, since he was impatient and sometimes just a brat. In his 800 years of teaching Jedi youngling, Yoda had never trained one so impatient like the blonde Revan. After learning Basic, Yoda had given Naruto a training lightsaber. Yoda had taught him the 7 forms of lightsaber techniques, and then on using the Force to see without sight, trying to block from the floating ball's lasers while having nothing to see. Revan tried his best, but nothing. The ball shot at his, but which made him yelp in pain. In anger, he threw down his blindfold and training saber. This sucks, Master Yoda. How can I train without seeing? Deceive you. Your eyes can. Trust in the Force, you must. That is your lesson. Yoda replied. Well, how am I supposed to trust the Force, Master Yoda? You didn't tell me that. The Force flows in us. In me, you, the rock and trees. Feel it, allow to let it flow through you. You must. Trust in the Force. Yoda replied, and Revan put on his blindfold again. As the ball hovered over him, Revan took a deep breath as he prepared to block the laser shots. Calm your mind, Revan. Empty it of stress. Allow the Force to flow freely. Trust the Force. Yoda told him, and Revan calmed his mind. As the ball shot, Revan managed to block 3 more shots, and Revan blocked each one. Did you see that, Master Yoda? Revan asked, proud of his achievement. Saw that, I did. Learn much you have, but proud you must not be. Still much to learn, you still do. Is pride a bad thing, Master Yoda? Revan asked. Bad it is. When proud you become, invincible you feel. But when that pride falls, anger and jealously fill your mind, it will. They lead to hatred and hatred to the dark side. Do not let it cloud your mind, or it will lead you astray, young Revan. Yoda advised his newest apprentice, who nodded in understanding. Then the two left to continue training. A week later, Yoda was on his student's back as Revan ran through the damp, swampy forest of Dagobah and jumped over the rocks. As Revan continued on his journey, Yoda explained to him the workings of the Force and how to combat the dark side. To not fear or shun it like the Jedi Order did before, but learn to confront it, to fight it. As Revan took a tree vine and swung down, he came across a cave. Cold, dark, and malicious. It was oozing with the dark side. What is that cave, Master Yoda? Revan asked his master. A nexus of the dark side it is. Best to avoid it for now, Revan. Still too much to learn before you can enter. You do. Yoda told him, and Revan continued his training. Stopping at a spot, Yoda instructed him to upside down on his left arm while trying to lift rocks. Though Yoda told him to concentrate, Revan tried his best, but lost focus and fell down. Too much doubt in you, young Revan. Clouded your mind is, but master, it's very hard. Only difficult it is if trust in the Force you do not. Trust in the Force in and in you. Yoda told Revan as the blonde tried once more. Revan got upside down and stood on his left arm, trying to lift the rocks using the Force. He managed to lift them up about a feet above the ground and then collapsed down onto the ground once more. Again, young Revan. Yoda ordered as Revan went to continue on his Jedi training. Trials for a Padawan. That night on Dagobah, Revan could hardly sleep as his mind was drawn to the dark cave in the forest. Unable to resist the thought of entering despite Master Yoda's advice, he got up and walked out of the hut. Master Yoda's eyes opened as he knew that his young apprentice would do such a thing. Revan walked inside the cave, feeling cold and hate and anger from the cave. As he walked deeper, he saw a beast that was roughly humanoid but had blood-red skin like fire and animalistic features with 9 tails. The beast roared, and in his fear, Revan ran out the cave, panting heavily at the terrifying experience. Not ready you are, I told you. Yoda spoke, revealing his presence to his apprentice. Master Yoda, what was that creature? Revan asked. The cave and nexus of the dark side. It is what you saw. Your inner darkness and fears. It was... Yoda informed him. My inner darkness and fears. Revan asked. Can it be connected to the past that I had forgotten? Maybe, maybe not. Only the Force knows. Still much to learn you still have, Revan. When the time comes, ready to enter that cave, you will be. Yoda said and walked back to the hut with his apprentice following him. Weeks passed as Yoda continued to train Revan in the Jedi ways. Yoda needed to be sure that in training Revan, he would not make the same mistakes he did. His latest apprentice had the same potential as his previous students like Dooku, but was still susceptible to the dark side. He had to be flexible in teaching his new student. The old traditions of the Jedi were part of its downfall to begin with. Instructions from the ghost of Qui-Gon Jinn and lessons learned from Anakin Skywalker enabled Yoda to be more flexible in teaching Revan Morningstar. Obi-Wan would visit at times to teach Revan things like how to pilot a ship or do repairs. Revan was no technician like Anakin Skywalker, but was pretty good at it from Master Kenobi's teachings. Obi-Wan, too, oversaw Revan's training at times and was glad to see some improvement with each visit. Revan focused and was lifting 4 rocks up into the air. After he did so, Yoda then told him to lift a massive boulder. Revan exclaimed that it was impossible, but Yoda only told him to do it. Revan tried his best, but couldn't lift the massive boulder. It's no good, Master Yoda. It's too big, Revan said as he walked to his master. Too much doubt in your mind. You have, Revan, Yoda replied. It's too big, Revan said with a slight bit of anger. Moving small rocks is one thing, but this is entirely different. No, only different in your mind it is, Yoda said with a calm voice. Okay, I'll give it a try, Revan said, but before he did, Yoda said no. Do or do not, there is no try, Yoda said, confusing his student. What does that even mean? How can I do something without even trying? Revan asked. Do or do not, there is no try. Whatever you do, fail or succeed you can. But try if you say, doubting your abilities you do. No faith in yourself. Try not, but do, Yoda explained, and Revan tried once more to lift the boulder. He struggled but could only shake it. He fell down to his knees and panted. Yoda calmly closed his eyes and then, much to his students' awe and surprise, the boulder was lifted. I don't believe it, Revan muttered. That is why you fail, Yoda told his student. Trust in the Force you must for your greatest ally. It flows through all things. In me you, the rocks, the trees, and everything. Luminous beings are we, not crude material. The Force is in us, binds us, surrounds us, makes life grow. You must feel the Force inside you as an ally. For a powerful ally it is. After that little lecture, Revan tried once more. I am one with the Force, and the Force is with me. I am one with the Force, and the Force is with me, Revan muttered as he allowed the Force to flow through him. Slowly but surely, the massive boulder was lifted a good 4 feet above the ground. "Master Yoda, I did it!" Revan exclaimed, and his master smiled in joy. -3 weeks later, Yoda had continued in training in his new apprentice. A training lightsaber was given to Revan, and Yoda had trained him in all 7 lightsaber forms and would often have a light spar with Revan on some occasions. But now, Yoda felt his student earned the right to forge his own lightsaber. But before doing that, he first needed to find his own kyber crystal, and Yoda knew where to find it. Yoda piloted the small craft with his student inside the ship and headed to a planet that was exclusive to the Jedi archives, the planet of Ilum. Wearing their winter clothing, the small ship landed on Ilum's snowy surface, and they walked out the ship. "It's freezing, Master Yoda. Are you sure I can find the right crystal?" Revan asked. "Your guide, the Force will be." Yoda simply answered his student's question, and Revan walked to the mountain. Channeling the Force, Revan was able to unveil the Jedi temple hidden behind it. He walked inside to claim his crystal. Once inside, Revan called to the Force, and after some time, his crystal revealed itself to him. He walked towards it and grabbed his kyber crystal. But before he returned to Master Yoda, he noticed light coming from the other side of the cave. He walked to it and saw what looked to be an abandoned mining complex. He jumped down to investigate, but found no one there. He saw some abandoned weapons and an axe that was made of strong metal. He grabbed them and walked back to the waiting Master Yoda. "Took longer than expected, you did. Thought die from waiting. I would." Yoda joked as he saw his student. "Forgive me, Master Yoda, but I happened to find some things. It appeared that someone, perhaps the Empire, was mining for kyber crystals here on Ilum. I managed to salvage these." Revan told his master and presented his findings. Yoda examined the axe and was surprised. Made of song steel, this axe is a rare metal resistant to lightsaber strikes. Yoda explained. "Must be the will of the Force for you to find it." Yoda said as he and his student entered the ship and returned home to Dagobah. -5 days later, Yoda had the song steel melted and reforged into little bits and pieces for Revan's lightsaber. It was Revan's responsibility to forge his own lightsaber, and Yoda told him to envision it and then build it. As this took place, Revan practiced shooting with the blaster he found. After 5 days, Revan was finally able to forge his lightsaber from the song steel metal. The hilt was 2.5 times longer than an average lightsaber hilt and can adjust its length with ease. Due to the fact that the hilt was made of song steel, it was capable of resisting other lightsaber blows. Revan practiced with his new lightsaber, finding it easier to wield than the training saber. Yoda threw 6 rocks at Revan, who dodged and cut them with ease. Then Revan jumped up to avoid the 6th one and cut off a tree trunk. As Revan was practicing, a sound was heard, and they looked up to see a freighter come down. Revan wanted to investigate, and on Yoda's cautionary advice, he was allowed to do so. Revan hid behind a tree and saw at least 5 people come out of the freighter, arguing amongst themselves. Apparently, they were spy smugglers who evaded capture from the Empire. Revan watched as they argued amongst themselves, and then went on to fix the ship's engines. As they were fixing it, however, the ship was sinking into the swamp it crashed into. "No!" shouted a black-haired woman who was the leader of their group. "Now we'll never get off this planet," she said in despair and fell down to her knees. Revan could have just left them there to be killed by whatever wildlife, disease, or starvation, but the teachings of the Jedi way prevented him from doing so. The Jedi were supposed to be protectors of the people and change even the most corrupted of hearts. Using the Force, he lifted the freighter out of the swamp, much to the awe of the smugglers, and set it down on dry ground. The female caught a glimpse of Revan, who ran away. "Wait," she said, wanting to talk with the one who saved her life and career. Revan had ran back to the hut, explained what he did, and apologized for revealing himself. Yoda already knew this event would happen, as the Force gave him a vision beforehand. After talking with the spirit of Kagan last night, Yoda decided to send Revan off to explore the wider galaxy and have some experience. The isolation from truly helping the people was what infected the Jedi Order in the first place and led to the downfall of prominent Jedi like Dooku and Anakin. This was just another phase of Revan's training. Yoda told his apprentice to go with the smugglers to experience the galaxy. When Revan asked about his training, Yoda told him that he would keep in touch with him through telepathy. Accepting his master's decisions, Revan prepared to leave Dagobah. The blonde boy saw the female smuggler, who jumped in fright at his sudden appearance. "Whoa!" she exclaimed and quickly composed herself. After talking over with her comrades, they decided to recruit the boy, who might be a Jedi in hiding. The Spectre Cell, their rivals before they joined the Rebel Alliance, had Kanan Jarrus and Ezra Bridger, so believed having one in their group would be extremely beneficial. "Sorry about that," she said. "Don't be. I was the one who scared you in the first place," Revan replied. "My name is Sarah Ryder, a member of the Slain Riders. My team would like to recruit you in our little adventures. That is, if you are willing to." Sarah introduced herself to the young blonde. She then asked if he was a Jedi, since he lifted their ship out from the swamp. "I am. One in training, but a Jedi nonetheless. My name is Revan Morningstar, and I would like to join the Slain Riders," Revan replied, and Sarah took him to her cruise ship, Dawnseeker. Each member of the crew introduced themselves and jumped to hyperspace. Revan's path to becoming a Jedi Knight was only just beginning. Jedi Adventures. -6 months later, Ariado, Jedi Padawan Revan Morningstar, had left with the Slain Riders and traveled with them to learn more about the galaxy and ways of life, technology, finances, and trade. The Slain Riders were smugglers, good ones too, and the young Jedi Padawan learned MYCH from them. He helped them in their smuggling missions, having a share of the loot, but used it to the bare minimum, buying food and clothing while giving a larger portion to the poor and needy. He learned more galactic basis, as well as other languages like Huttese, to better communicate in the criminal underworld, and droid speech to speak with droids. Surviving Jedi, no doubt, turned to a life of crime after Order 66 if they weren't hunted by the Empire. Yoda had taught his new Padawan more stuff through telepathy and force projections to improve Revan's skills. Revan too had discovered the holocrons and writings of past Jedi, who wanted their knowledge found to be used by later generations. Among these secrets was the ability to phase through objects and even use Force lightning without succumbing to the dark side. Electric Justice, or Emerald Lightning, was a variant of Force lightning that was used by a light side wielder and not drew on the dark side. Only Jedi who knew and used this was Jedi Master Plo Koon. Time to add another Jedi to that list, though Revan still was just in development phase. Right now, he was in an Imperial cadet uniform and waiting for the signal. It was another of the Slain Riders' jobs in which they wanted to steal an Imperial shipment to sell in the black market. His job was to plant detonators after the signal was released. Turns out it just did. He ran to where he was supposed to be out of the barracks and into the hangar, and avoided the incoming stormtroopers. A supply ship did not fly to orbit as its engines malfunctioned, and he ran outside to plant the detonators. He was to rendezvous with the others, but he caught a glimpse at one of the experimental TIE defenders. 6 laser cannons, missile launchers, shields, and a hyperdrive. The best TIE variant in history. Maybe he might get a different kind of reward. He got inside amidst the chaos and removed the Imperial tracker. "Revan, this is Sarah. Are you there?" "I'm here, Sarah. Did you get the shipment?" Revan asked. "Yeah, we got it. We have to escape now." "Where are you?" "Leave without me. I have a different mode of transportation," Revan said, and cut off the comm link. He flew the defender up and flew into orbit, then jumped to hyperspeed. His destination was Shantipole, home to a Mon Calamari shipbuilder named Corey. Shantipole, Revan flew his TIE defender down and onto Corey's home. He jumped out the pod to meet the old Mon Calamari. "Corey, you there?" Revan asked, and saw the shipbuilder work on his new starfighter. One requested by Revan. "Where else would I be?" Corey sarcastically asked and turned around. 3 weeks without a word, Revan. Sometimes I wonder if you care about your ship. My apologies. It's just the jobs and trying to find new ships, Revan replied. Well, can't complain as long as it's a good ship. First it was a spice freighter, a TIE interceptor, a shuttle, a Y-wing, and now what? See for yourself, Revan said, and Corey went outside to see the ship. An Imperial TIE Defender. Stole it from Ariada's Imperial base, home of Grand Moff Tarkin. I'll say. Shields, strong laser cannons, missiles, and a hyperdrive. You got yourself your ship sooner than you think, Revan. Corey said just as the Slain Riders came to pick him up. I'll be leaving now, Corey. See you soon. Revan said and jumped on the ship. Kijimi. The Slain Riders and Revan were on Kijimi, where they met the crime lord and got paid. They decided to stay on the planet though Revan didn't know why. He decided to walk the streets when he suddenly felt a presence. He prepared his saber and blocked a lightsaber swing from a Togrutan Jedi. "Are you Ahsoka, Tano?" Revan asked. "I am." "Who are you?" Ahsoka asked. "My name is Revan Morningstar. I am Master Yoda's apprentice." Revan said, and Ahsoka turned off her sabers. "It's good to be finally able to meet you, Ahsoka Tano. I've heard so much about you from Master Yoda and Master Kenobi. I didn't know Yoda had a new apprentice." "How'd he find you, Revan?" "Beats me. He just said I was nearly dying from some unknown injuries, and both he and Master Kenobi took me to a medical space station to be healed." "They took you? You weren't taken in as a child?" "I don't remember anything about my life before Master Yoda took me. I'm still trying to recover from my amnesia." "Oh, I see. Can I ask you something?" "What is it?" "Can you have a sparring match with me?" Revan asked, wanting to know how his skills match up with Ahsoka's and what he can learn from an experienced war veteran like her. "Of course." Ahsoka ignited her sabers, wanting to see how Yoda's new apprentice would fare against her. The two fought, and Ahsoka had to admit that Yoda trained Revan good. His first form was Form 2, but he could also use Form 4 very effectively. Not surprising since Yoda was the best user of Form 4, but she was better than Revan due to her more athletic and flexible body. Revan used Form 3 as a defense, and she knew it was Obi-Wan's techniques from the style, but Revan's main skill was in Form 6. Ahsoka had to admit that Revan was very good, but her experiences gave her the edge. She managed to overpower the Padawan and knock his saber away. "I must say, Yoda trained you well, Revan." "Thank you for the compliment, Ahsoka, but I wouldn't be skilled if it wasn't for Master Yoda's teachings. Your skills in Form 2 and 3 were good, but Form 6 and 5 are your main strength. Form 4 is good, but needs more work. It requires speed and athletics, outmaneuvering your opponent and being more agile," Ahsoka advised Revan. "I thank you for your advice, Ahsoka. Master Yoda was right when he said you were one of the Order's best Padawans." "What are you doing here on Kijimi?" "Helping some friends and learning how things work," Revan replied as Ahsoka's calm link glowed. "I have to cut our meeting short, Revan. I hope to see you once again." "May the Force be with you," Revan said, and Ahsoka left the area. He walked back to where his partners are, and he sensed a disturbance. He jumped up on the roofs and in a secluded alley, saw his friends were cornered by at least 12 armed men, and they had 3 reprogrammed Magna Guards. Revan improvised and got his blaster. With the Force to guide him, he shot 5 of the men in the head. He jumped down and shot 3 more dead. His comrades got their blasters and fought the mercs. The IG 100 Magna Guards came at Revan, who got his lightsaber and attacked them. He dodged their strikes and used Form 3 to defend himself, then Form 5 to beat them. He sliced a Magna Guard into 3 separate pieces, then beheaded the second one. The beheaded guard kept fighting, but Revan pierced the heart. He then crushed the 3rd and final guard into scrap, then shot the last merc dead. The slain riders got back into their ship and left Kijimi for Navarro. On the planet of Navarro, one of the slain riders had betrayed his team. He had informed Imperial authorities, who then sent a platoon of elite stormtroopers and an Inquisitor to hunt down Revan. The ship was blown up, and all the crew save for Sarah Ryder was dead. Out of 50 stormtroopers, only 15 stood, and Revan was fighting the Inquisitor. He managed to overpower the Inquisitor and behead him, but he saw the dead state of his comrades and the traitor smiling to himself. The man was taunting him, telling him to surrender, but Revan instead force choked him. He deflected the blast back at the stormtroopers, then pushed 4 of them to the wall. He was about to kill the traitor, but hesitated at the last moment. It was difficult to kill a friend, even if they were a traitor now. The man took advantage of it and tried to shoot Revan, but the Jedi sensed it. Revan turned around, and a pale, white lightning came out his fingers, which killed the traitor. "Sarah, are you all right?" Revan asked her and went to her aid. Sarah thanked him for saving his life, but thought it best that they split up. Revan sensed her troubled mind and decided to not pressure her anymore. He left on his own, hijacked a small ship, and left to Shanapol, where he waited till Quarry would finish building the ship he requested. Knighthood, current year, 2 ABY. Revan's ship was finally completed. It had 6 medium cannons, 2 missile launchers, ion torpedo tubes, and the back of the ship had room to fit at least 12 people. Revan had stolen an Umbaran starfighter's cannons a while ago and had them refitted into his new starship, which he dubbed the Dawnseeker. Revan had stolen a droid from the new BB series line of droids named BB-4. He and BB-4 continued doing small jobs to get paid, all the while helping the Rebel Alliance and securing Jedi artifacts. It had been a little over a year since he had the Dawnseeker. In that time, a lot happened. Master Obi-Wan Kenobi had become one with the Force, slain by Darth Vader, and the Empire revealed its secret weapon, the Death Star. This moon-sized battle station had power capable of blowing up entire planets, as seen with Jedha, Scarif, and Alderaan. The Alliance to restore the Republic had successfully destroyed the Death Star 2 years back and was going on a massive military campaign to topple the Empire. The Alliance severely underestimated the Empire. The rebellion mostly operated in the mid-outer rims of the galaxy, where Imperial forces were of much lower quality. When they moved forward towards the heart of the Empire, the Army and Navy were much stronger than they anticipated. They lost much of their forces despite overwhelming support after Alderaan's destruction. The Empire's firm grip on the galaxy was absolute, for now. Did you fix that leak, BB-4? Revan asked his loyal companion, who affirmed him with beeps. Good to hear, buddy. Good to hear. Revan said, and he thanked Master Obi-Wan and Master Yoda for teaching him droid speech. He missed the old man who taught him starfighter piloting and battle strategies. A loud beep came on his ship's cockpit. Rebellion ships were under attack by the Empire. They needed immediate help at once. Hang on to a cable, BB-4. We're jumping. Revan told his companion as he set the coordinates and jumped to hyperspace. When he came out, 3 Star Destroyers, an interdictor, and several cruisers were tearing apart a small rebel fleet. All right, BB-4, give me some juice. Revan said to his droid, and more power was directed to the engines and turrets. Whoa! Revan exclaimed as the sudden increase in speed pushed him back on his seat. He quickly composed himself and then got TIE fighters in his targeting system. Let's shoot some TIEs, BB-4. Revan said to his droid, which beeped in support. Revan shot down 2 TIE fighters and then went on to shoot 4 more down. The other TIEs came after him, but their fire was useless on his starfighter's powerful shields. Revan flew upwards, then downward and shot 2 more down. Get me visual on that starfighter, Lieutenant. Admiral Akbar of the Rebel fleet asked his technicians aboard his command ship's bridge. It's the Dawnseeker, sir. Revan Morningstar has returned to help us. The lieutenant replied. Revan Morningstar, we're lucky to have you on our side, Admiral Akbar said as he breathed a sigh of relief. Though Revan's status as a Jedi was not known, he was, however, a secret and unknown supporter of the Alliance on numerous occasions. Good to have you back, Revan. General Hera Syndulla of the Rebel Alliance said over on the comm link. Same to you, General Syndulla. Care to blow up some Star Destroyers? Revan asked. You betcha. One of their shields is already down thanks to ion torpedoes. Hera informed Revan over on the comm link. Then I'll be making a run for it. Can your squad provide some cover? You got your cover, Revan. Red Squadron, come in. Provide cover for the Dawnseeker. Hera ordered, and her squadron along with the Dawnseeker made for the Star Destroyer. Revan flew his ship and started firing on the Star Destroyer and destroying its turbo lasers. Revan flew to avoid incoming TIE fighters, which the Red Squadron blew up. Revan then targeted the ion torpedo tubes and blasted it to space dust. BB-4, give me missiles. Revan told his droid, which beeped and turned on the missiles. The missiles were shot, a white-blue energy following, and they blew up a large portion of the Star Destroyer's head. All right, BB-4, the plasma missiles. Revan said, and his droid turned on the Umbaran plasma missiles. Revan shot them at the bridge, and the Star Destroyer was down. Nice timing, BB-4. Now time to target the interdictor, Revan said as he made his way to the interdictor. 2 squads of TIE fighters were on his tail, and Revan spun his ship around, faced the TIEs, and shot at them, destroying 4 TIEs. He shot 2 missiles which blew up 2 TIEs, and he shot another one down. The plasma missiles were charged, and he fired 4 of them onto an Arquitens class. He flew up as a TIE fighter crashed into the Arquitens bridge, and he flew to target the interdictor. Switch to ion torpedoes, BB-4. Revan ordered, and the droid switched the missiles to ion torpedoes. Revan shot them, and the shields on the interdictor were disabled. He destroyed the cannons of the interdictor, then switched to missiles. He shot them at the gravity well projectors, and before long, the interdictor was blown up. Nice shot, Revan, Hera Syndulla exclaimed as she saw the interdictor explode. Won't you be joining us, Revan? We could really use your help in these desperate times. About that, I have business to take care of before I can join General Syndulla. I didn't expect the Empire to deal such a devastating blow to you. Hoth set us back a bit, but we can recover. I look forward to the day you can join us, Revan Morningstar. I too look forward to that day, General Syndulla, Revan said as he jumped to hyperspace and went to meet his master. Dagobah. Revan arrived on Dagobia's star system and prepared to land, but he needed to find a suitable landing space as his ship was pretty big for a starfighter. Can you find us a good place to land, BB-4? Revan asked, and his companion scanned the swampy planet till he found a suitable place. Yeah, happy beeps, buddy, happy beeps, Revan said as he flew down and landed on Dagobah. He got up his seat and walked out to the planet's surface. For Naruto/Revan's outfit, imagine Kylo Ren's outfit from The Last Jedi. Revan walked with BB for behind him, his saber ready and blaster loaded in the event of danger. He took his blaster out and pointed at a familiar face. Away, put your weapon. I mean you no harm, the acting Yoda said as his student pointed the blaster. Master Yoda. Again with the acting? Revan asked upon seeing his master's antics. Years passed since you left and point a blaster at me, you did? None of my former students acted this way. Forget to bring me presents. You did, Yoda said with a sad tone. That's not true, Master. I brought food, water, and ketamine. Revan reassured his master, whose eyes widened at the mention of ketamine. Ketamine? Been more than 20 years since I've had that. Give them to now, you will, Yoda demanded, and Revan knew he'd regret bringing illegal ketamine. Yoda began where he left off the next morning. He was glad to learn of his apprentice's growth. Revan had learned much from the teachings of Jedi past and the ancient texts. Revan cut off the rocks while blindfolded, and Yoda came down with a green lightsaber. Prepare yourself. You must. One of your final lessons, this is, hold back. You must not, Yoda told his student as he flipped up to attack Revan. His student jumped up to intercept Yoda's attack. Both dueled in an epic clash of green and blue-gray blades. Both moved faster than the eye could see. Their speed was like lightning. Yoda used his nimble, smaller body and jumped up and down, which his student countered as fast as he could. Revan's main form was Form 6, which utilized mixed martial arts and lightsaber combat. Revan kicked his master away and jumped up to cut, but Yoda got back up and jumped to the left. Yoda jumped up on Revan's back and jumped again. Revan unleashed a wave of white force lightning, and Yoda jumped to the trees to avoid it. Revan jumped up, and both their sabers met in a loud clash. Yoda jumped up, spinning and slashing furiously as Revan used Form 3 to defend himself. Yoda managed to knock Revan's lightsaber away, and just as he was about to strike, Revan picked up a regular stick and successfully blocked his strike. Yoda was amazed by this, since it was a technique thought to be lost since the days of the Sith Lord, Conan. Force weapon was the ability to imbue the power of the Force into an object to make it far more powerful than it originally was for a short period of time. Yoda smirked at his apprentice's knowledge in the Force. Revan unleashed a massive wave of Force lightning that knocked Yoda back by several feet. Revan unleashed a second wave, which Yoda used Force absorption to combat the ability. A shock wave followed, which sent the two flying. Revan got back up and lifted boulders and tree trunks and sticks and imbued them with Force lightning. He threw them at Yoda, who masterfully dodged them all. Yoda threw a boulder back, and Revan punched it to dust. Both got their lightsabers back and continued dueling for 5 minutes till Yoda disarmed his student and put his saber on Revan's neck. Yoda smiled and laughed at seeing his student's face that held no fear but trust in the Force. Pass the test, you did, Yoda said, which confused his student. I passed, Master Yoda? What exactly was the test about? To see if you would give in to your hate, anger, and fear. To see if you could fall to the dark side. You did not. Let go of your feelings, you did. Trust in the Force, you did, Yoda said as his student understood what his master meant. One more trial you face, Revan, before knighted you can be. Tomorrow, we will do. I shall wait till then, Master, Revan said and decided to ask a question. Master, was someone here? Yes. Here someone was. I sense his presence, Master. Was he perhaps the child of Anakin Skywalker, with whom I am to build the new Jedi Order with? Yes, Luke Skywalker. Much to learn, he still has. Come, Revan. Good food in the hut. Yoda said and hurriedly rushed to his hut. Revan smiled at seeing his old master's antics. They ate that night and talked, and tomorrow was the day that Revan Morningstar was to become a Jedi Knight. Next day, Revan's task was simple. Enter the cave and face his fear. Face the memories, the past he had forgotten, and remember who he was before being a Jedi. The task was simple, but required his will to be stronger than it ever was up to that point. Revan did not take his lightsaber, entrusting BB for to take care of it, and he entered the cave. He walked in and arrived at the middle, and he knelt down to meditate, calling on the Force to guide him. His mind was inside a new land, a dark sewer-like structure, and he heard the sounds of something moving. Nah. Are you, too? The voice called out, and he looked at where it came, but nothing. Nah. To. Again the voice called, but nowhere was a creature or person to be found. Show yourself, Revan said, and out came the monster he saw 3 years back. The humanoid canine-like beast that had 9 tails and a burning, blood-red energy over its body. Who are you? Revan asked. You do not remember? The 9-tailed creature asked as it removed the burning energy skin on its face. I am you, the creature said as Revan's face appeared. You are me? Or rather, the past I had forgotten. Revan said, and the creature laughed. You and I are one and the same. Your original name was Naruto Uzumaki. You were hated by everyone for unjustified reasons. They hated you, they used you, they belittled you, they betrayed you. The creature roared. But it matters not. You have more power than even the Hokages. Your power in its fullest potential can destroy those bastards. The creature said and put out his hand. Take my hand. Become one with me. Give into the dark side, to your anger, your hatred, and we can take our rightful vengeance against those bastards. Revan refused the offer. No, revenge is not the Jedi way. If your offer to my past is revenge, to the dark side, then I would rather die not knowing my past than being consumed by darkness. Revan gave his reply, which made the creature punch him. The creature roared as he jumped up and attacked Revan. The beast punched Revan multiple times, then threw him across a wall. The creature grabbed Revan's head and dragged it across the wall. Revan got his head out and punched the beast, but he felt pain. Memories of his past life were coming back. The memories of Naruto Uzumaki had returned. His forgotten, painful life was remembered, and Revan's mind hurt. His dark side, the manifestation of his pent-up anger and hate, smirked. Yes, yes, yes. Give into it. Become one with your inner darkness, your true self. Become one with me, and together we can take our rightful vengeance. The memories flooded Revan's mind, the sufferings of himself, the Jinchuriki, and everyone on his birth planet. Darkness started to creep towards him, engulfing him, their slimy, tentacle masses. Revan's entire body was covered in the darkness, and there was silence. The evil that was Naruto Uzumaki's hatred and anger laughed. But his laugh stopped when light began to glow, and then the darkness was replaced by a bright, white light. No, muttered the dark version of Naruto as the mindscape was replaced by a paradise. I know of the sufferings that plagued me, everything that happened to me. Revan said, then you see that we are more than justified in getting our revenge. We are one and the same. To get revenge is not the Jedi way. It is not the correct way to settle this. Revenge only causes more suffering, more loneliness, more darkness. I will return to my world, but not for revenge. I will set things right. Revan declared, making his dark side fearful. No, you cannot. We are one. My emotions are yours. My feelings are yours. My desires are yours. You cannot turn your back on me. I am not. There is no dark side, nor is there a light. There is only the Force. I will do what I must to keep the balance. There is no good without evil, but evil must not be allowed to flourish. There is passion, yet peace. There is serenity, yet emotion. Chaos, yet order. I am the wielder of flame, the protector of balance. I am the holder of the torch, lighting the way. I am a keeper of the flame, soldier of the balance. I am a guardian of the balance. My masters were the last of the old Jedi, and I am the first of the new. Revan declared as his dark self was merged with him, and he came back into the real world. He got up and walked out the cave, his master waiting for him. Done, I presume. Yoda asked, to which Revan bowed down. It is done, my master. I have conquered my inner darkness. I am at peace with the Force, Revan replied. Then, by order of the Jedi Council, I knight thee. Revan Morningstar, arise, Jedi Knight. Return to the elements, Zaya Sith Space. After he got knighted by Yoda, Revan, or the former Naruto Uzumaki, had set out as he knew what his mission was: to save his home planet from the coming darkness. Visions in his dream told him of the pain and suffering his home was experiencing. All this constant suffering was close to making it a hub, a nexus for the dark side of the Force. He needed to cure it. Yoda understood this and gave his apprentice his full support and set the coordinates on Revan's Dawnseeker. But before he left to go back to his home, however, he still needed to do something. Yoda told him of a vision. In that vision, he saw a planet corrupted fully by the dark side. A planet that was home to Sith cultists, fanatic worshippers of Darth Sidious. They were building for the Sith Lord a secret superweapon. Yoda first tasked him to get a wayfinder that will chart a course to the Sith planet in the future after his task was done. Revan's destination was Zyast, the ancient capital of the Sith Empire during the times of the first Sith Lords, Marka Ragnos and Naga Sadow. On the cold, icy world of Zyast, Revan jumped up to avoid incoming blaster fire, and he shot the Sith cultist dead. He used the Force to stop blaster fire, then redirected it back at his enemies. He took out his lightsaber and deflected blasters. He ran forward, leaned back to avoid an axe strike, and he then beheaded the cultist. He shot 3 Sith cultists who were approaching, and he twirled his saber and impaled another cultist. He pushed back some Sith cultists, then unleashed his white Force lightning. He then cut down about a dozen of them and approached a stone block. He removed the slab and took out a Sith holocron that was made of gold, and its content was a star map in green. The Sith Wayfinder was found. Hold right there, Jedi scum, a Sith cultist ordered as 15 more came. There are no Jedi. Away, put your weapons. I mean you no harm, Revan said. Lies. You killed dozens of our fellow allies. You will pay with your own blood, the cultist said, but BB came with the Dawnseeker and shot the cultist to death. Not a moment too late, BB4. Perfect timing. Revan hopped on his ship and the Dawnseeker jumped to light speed. In his ship, Revan checked the contents of the Sith Wayfinder to gain some information. Exegol, a planet in the unknown regions. BB4, mark the coordinates into the ship's mainframe. We will need it for later. Right now, I'm returning home, Revan said as he gave BB for the Wayfinder, then set Master Yoda's coordinates. He came out of hyperspace, redirected his ship, and went to wild space near the unknown regions. He set course for his home. Elemental system. The Dawnseeker came out of hyperspace. Revan looked out of his screen to see his backwater world. So, I'm home. He muttered and activated his ship's cloaking device. He flew down to an isolated mountain range where no one lived and was far from population centers. He needed to avoid unnecessary attention till he had a better understanding of his situation. He walked out with BB behind him. His companion asked him what he was going to do, and Revan just sighed. Beats me, buddy. It's been like 4 years since I was taken by Master Yoda and Obi-Wan. BB made some beeps which Revan found rather foul in its tone. Hey, watch the language, you rolling ball. It's been 4 years, okay. He reprimanded his droid, then took a seat on a rock. Well, Master Yoda always said that in times of hardship and confusion, meditate and the Force shall answer. I think I'll do that, he said, and he closed his eyes and meditated. Then, Revan received visions of the past 4 years of his home. First was how, after he was taken, the evil snake, Orochimaru, broke Sasuke Uchiha out of prison and was trained for 3 years till Sasuke turned on Orochimaru. The Akatsuki, the organization that was bent on hunting down Jinchuriki, had made its move. They targeted his friend, the Kazekage, first and extracted the One-Tails, but he was revived thanks to a forbidden jutsu. Then, the Leaf Village targeted the Akatsuki with them successful in killing off most members. Sasuke Uchiha had killed his older brother, but learned the truth of his clan's massacre, which sent him into a downward spiral of madness. How his former teacher Jiraiya faced Pain, leader of the Akatsuki, and managed to narrowly escape. Pain then attacked the Leaf Village and faced the weak, dying Jiraiya once more. Rather than fighting, the old perverted hermit of a frog had a final conversation in which he made Pain abandon his path. After this, Pain or Nagato Uzumaki had faced Toby and died in the fight, but not before destroying the Rinnegan. In the wake of Pain's assault, Danzo took control since Tsunade was in a coma and Jiraiya unable to become a ninja once more. Sasuke then assassinated Danzo in the Samurai Bridge about 8 months back. Sasuke Uchiha gathered what remained of Orochimaru's followers and test subjects into an army, and he allied himself with Toby. Together, they took control of the minor ninja villages and various other countries, and then declared war on the rest of the elemental nations. No unification was made by the 5 great countries, however, to combat Sasuke and Akatsuki's alliance. The Uchiha had fallen to madness, and he took it out upon his victims. Mass slaughter to outright genocide, slavery, burning of villages, forced labor, unethical experimentations, torture, raping, and plundering were some of the things he did. He subjected his soldiers to the cursed seal and used a mind-control jinjutsu to make them his loyal cannon fodder. About 4 months back, Fire Country was attacked, and both Sasuke and Toby were leading the assault. The demonic statue which held 6 of the 9-tailed beasts was there also. In the fight, much of the leaf was destroyed, and Sakura Haruno defected to join Sasuke, having blown up the Leaf Hospital and Academy to prove herself. Kakashi died fighting Toby, using the Reaper Death Seal to take the masked Akatsuki with him. As Sasuke tried to take Toby's eye, Kiba Inuzuka came in to stop him and destroyed Toby's corpse. Sasuke killed Kiba, but not before the Inuzuka did irreparable damage to Sasuke. Might Guy sacrificed himself to destroy the demonic statue which freed the one to 6 tails. The war was far from over as Sasuke was still waging fruitless skirmishes over the continent. Revan gasped as he absorbed all the information. He walked back into his ship to take a rest. He took about an hour to fully calm down and become rational. He thought hard and decided on his first destination, the Land of Spring. Land of Spring. Revan leapt through the buildings of the Land of Spring, once snow. He remembered the adventure he had taken years back with his team and Koyuki Kazuhana. But he had no time to think about the past as Koyuki was kidnapped. About 2 days earlier, Sasuke's men kidnapped the daimyo of Spring to be used as a concubine for the Uchiha. Revan sensed through the force where Koyuki was, and he was going to save her. He landed on the road and ran as fast as he could to where Sasuke's thugs were taking Koyuki. He jumped up and stood in front of them. "Hold right there. I know who it is that you guard. Stop this evil, and I will not lift my blade upon you. Get lost. We have no idea what you're talking about. We are just merchants traveling," spoke one of the 6 guards. "I know you have the daimyo of Spring in that caravan, and I know that you were ordered to bring her to Sasuke Uchiha," Revan said, alarming the soldiers who served his one-time rival. "You do not need to do this. You can turn away and do good. Release the daimyo before it's too late." "Here's our answer. Fire style. Great fireball jutsu." The leader of the guard shot out a fireball which Revan threw aside as if it was nothing. "So be it." Revan muttered and took out his lightsaber. He leapt forward, stabbing the leader in the stomach, then cut 2 more down. One of them tried to take a sword, but Revan cut the sword and the wielder in half. He pulled another closer to him, then cut his head off. The last guard was running for his life, and Revan shot him down with his blaster. He turned his attention to the tied up and gagged Koyuki. "It's okay. I'm here to save you," Revan said, and he released Koyuki from her restraints. "Thank you, sir. May I ask who you are?" Koyuki asked and got the shock of her life to see who it was. Though a bit scarred and without the whisker marks, she recognized the blonde face anywhere. "Has it been so long that old friends have forgotten me?" Revan asked, and Koyuki had hugged him. He did not expect it, but he welcomed it nonetheless. He embraced the princess whom he saved with a hug. Elemental adventures. After Revan/Naruto had left Spring Country after saving Koyuki, he saw the various metals being used, and he wanted to run a test. He had a sample taken and told BB for to test it. "So what you got, buddy?" Revan asked his companion, who beeped. "As I suspected, Dunium. My home world is rich with it," Revan remarked upon hearing his theory being true. Dunium was the main metal used for starship construction. The price for it had increased dramatically since the Empire began the construction of the Death Star and upped its Navy production. If Dunium was plentiful, Other metals like dolomite and iridium wouldn't be too far behind. Revan was taught how to build by Obi-Wan and the Slain Riders, and he had used for the bits of dunium he had. He had taken the body of an old IG-100 Magna Guard and upgraded it with parts from a commando and assassin droid. The droid had built-in blasters, flamethrowers, and a jetpack along with top-notch medical equipment. He had reprogrammed the droid to be his helper, but he had difficulty in making the droid work. The dunium he found could work as a core for the droid. The first Buzz droids of the CS did have dunium cores but was phased out. He could use this to reactivate the droid. He put the core in, and after charging the droid up, it was up and operational. Oh, hello there. My name is X-21, assassin, guard and commando droid with knowledge in over 2,000 languages and the best medical equipment. May I know your name, please? The droid identified as X-21 introduced himself. Good to see you, X-21. My name is Revan Morningstar, and I am glad to see you working. Revan gave the droid his name. Say, would you happen to be my maker? X-21 asked. I am. Then how may I be of service to you, my master? Do you need bounties to hunt? Food to roast? To be protected from enemies? Or do you need me to assassinate your enemies? X-21 asked. Not now at the moment, but thank you for your enthusiasm. X-21, can you check my ship's readout and check for any leaks? While you're at it, can you check my weapons to see if they're functioning? Revan asked. Certainly, my master. I would be delighted to help you. X-21 said and stood up to check the electro-staff, the blasters, and the ship per his creator's orders. Revan faced elsewhere as he sensed someone in dire need of help. Jedi were protector of people as taught to him by his master. He took his robes and saber and blaster pistol and left to help those in need. Conan was the only female member of the Akatsuki and now the only one alive. After Toby had heavily injured her in his fight against Nagato. Toby had her locked up since the crazed Sasuke Uchiha had plans for her. She was already too weak to fight back, and she was about to accept her fate until she had help from the most unlikeliest of allies. One of Sasuke's comrades named Karen. The redhead grew disillusioned after having to witness Sasuke's increasingly horrific methods. She eventually realized that Sasuke had become just like Orochimaru. No, he had become worse than the snake. She couldn't stand it anymore after Sasuke had used Yugo to power his brainwashed army with the curse seal, which resulted in Yugo's death. Karen decided to rebel, and her first act was to free the imprisoned Conan. The plan didn't go as she exactly hoped it did. They were surrounded by 15 of Sasuke's soldiers who were going to kill them. Conan was too weak, and Karen wasn't much of a fighter. Death seemed inevitable, but before the soldiers moved in, blue bolts were shot which killed about 4 of them. Then a robed figure came out to help them, and he fired the blue thing. Karen and Conan saw the robed figure, did a very high jump, and slice a man with a glowing blue blade. The robed figure continued firing, and all of Sasuke's men were dead. Revan used the force to calm the 2 women, which had the unintended effect of making them sleep. Revan took the 2 girls and put them on his speeder bike. He started his speeder, then hovered to where his ship was, about 34 miles north of the prison. When he arrived, he saw BB-4 and X-21 talking. Ah, young master, you returned. I was beginning to grow worried. X-21 exclaimed upon seeing Revan. Oh, who are these flesh bags, master? People in need of help? X-21, especially the blue-haired one. Prepare the medical kit. Revan ordered. Of course. Right away. Come on, BB-4. We have work to do. X-21 called his partner, and they helped the 2 women whom Revan had saved. Morning, Conan woke up to see herself in an unfamiliar place. The ceiling above her was made of pure, clean metal, and it had light coming out. She saw bandages and medical equipment all over her body, and then she remembered last night. How Karen, one of Sasuke's former allies, had broken her out of her cell and then being saved by a robed figure. She heard some noise and found Karen just beside her. Wait, where are we? Karen asked. I don't know, Conan replied. Wherever we are, I feel safe. I feel my body having its strength returning and my chakra coming back. That's amazing. The damage done to you is pretty bad. Whoever patched you up must be a good medic, Karen remarked. I forgot to say it, but thank you for last night. I was afraid I would spend my life being that little prick slave. Conan said, and the doors automatically opened, which shocked the two, and inside came the robed figure from last night. You are awake, I see, Revan said, starting their conversation. You don't need to be afraid. I helped you escape and healed you, he said, and removed his face, which made Karen gasp. That face? Are you Naruto Uzumaki? Karen asked, noting the similarity with a photo containing Naruto's face from the failed Leaf attack months back. She infiltrated his abandoned house and found his photo there. The Nine-Tails Jinchuriki? Conan asked, equally shocked. Standing before her was the missing Jinchuriki of the Nine-Tails. The Akatsuki spent years and valuable resources trying to find him, but he was nowhere to be seen or heard. That was the old me. Right now, my name is Revan Morningstar. Has been for the past 4 years. I won't hurt you, I promise. Revan reassured them just as X-21 entered the room. Master, breakfast ready. X-21 said, and Karen screamed in fear. WW, what the hell is that thing? Did it just talk? Karen asked frantically. Young lady, calling me a thing is quite rude, and especially in that tone. I will have you know that I have been programmed to be a bodyguard, an assassin, and a commando, but not to be screamed upon. X-21 said to Karen as he was very offended. Sorry about that. His name is X-21, and he is a droid. He came with food, and you can trust me. It's not poisoned. Eat up, and I'll share with you my story if you tell me yours. Revan told them and gave them their food. A loaf of polystarch bread, some butter, a cup of warm milk, and soup. They ate their meal and walked outside the Dawnseeker to see Revan's camp. It was relatively simple, with 2 normal tents and a fire in the center. They saw a first glimpse of the ship in which they were healed and nearly got a jump scare at the sight. BB made some beeps which alerted Karen, and she got stars in her eyes upon seeing the adorable little rolling ball. Please take a seat. Revan then moved 2 stones with the Force, and they sat down. Revan asked them for their history and who they were. He told them not to tell him lies, as he can tell if they lied or not. Without much resistance, the two told him of their story and shared painful memories. Revan too then shared his story and revealed to them of the wider galaxy. Revan told them to rest while the medicine did its job, and he went elsewhere to gather more information regarding recent events. He also warned them not to upset X-21 or BB for while he was away. Would have been so much easier to just hack into the holonet, but his planet was millennia away from reaching even a Type 1 civilization. Revan gathered much information by invading the minds of travelers and shinobi. Of course, he didn't use it to gather info about a person's individual life, but news like how the skirmishes were going or the state of the hidden villages. Thanks to these gathered info, he knew his path and could plan further. He thanked Obi-Wan's teachings regarding war tactics, as it was proving useful in these troubling times. As Revan was hovering with his speeder bike through the forest, he sensed more people in need of help. He stopped his speeder, then jumped up to the trees and saw what was happening. A group of female ninja were under attack by Sasuke Uchiha soldiers with the Curse Seal and a few of the white Zetsu clones. Revan saw the female ninjas in need of desperate help. He took out his blaster and carefully sniped the soldiers and clones dead. He jumped down and in a single strike beheaded the 4 soldiers who surrounded a female ninja. He then used the Force to push his enemies or lift them up and strike them down. You are safe, Revan told the female ninja, who he rescued, and others came to her side. They surrounded Revan, but the woman, who was clearly their leader, ordered them to stand down. I apologize. My name is Shizuka, leader of Nashiko village. Thank you for helping us against Sasuke Uchiha soldiers. The village thanks you, Mr. Revan Morningstar. Revan took off his hood, and one of the other ninjas recognized him. Excuse me, Mr. Morningstar, but would you also happen to be Naruto Uzumaki, the student of Jiraiya who had gone missing? I see my old name has quite gone down in infamy. Do you know Jiraiya? How is the old hermit? Revan asked. This is somewhat complicated. The woman muttered, and Revan was welcomed to their village to hear her story. How she encountered Jiraiya and of the arrangement between him and her student, Shizuka. Revan wasn't surprised at his old teacher's antics. Still, he had to accept it. The new Jedi doctrine he presented to Yoda allowed attachments. Revan believed the old order's view on emotions was what blinded it to corruption and the Sith. New teaching methods more closer to Master and Yakuro, aka the Dark Woman, were also part of that. Yoda had considered her training methods better and revolutionary, and he had trained Revan like this. It took some convincing on Revan's part for Yoda, but the 900-year-old Jedi Master had to accept the old order's mistakes and allow changes for the new to come. With that being said, Revan accepted the challenge. On one of the village's training grounds, 10 Nashiko Jonan were standing guard while the two fought. Nashiko style, roaring gale chop. Shizuka came forward with a chakra-empowered punch to which Revan used force phase to make himself intangible. Shizuka was shocked to see such an ability, since only Tobi of the Akatsuki had such powers. Wind style, Wind Dragon Jutsu. She then shot out a Wind Dragon, and Revan jumped up to avoid it. Shizuka charged with a kunai, and Revan stopped her with the force. He lifted her up and pushed her back. He pulled a stick, powered it with the force, and used it to block Shizuka's strikes. He jumped up to avoid her barrage of kunai, and he then used the force to ensnare her. He ignited his lightsaber and put it near her throat. "Does this mean that I win?" Revan asked. "Yes," Shizuka said, sounding defeated as the snares were released. "By order of Nashiko law, we are dash," she said, trying to bow, but Revan stopped her. "Must you bow to me?" "The traditions. They dictate dash," she tried to explain, but Revan stopped her. "Sometimes the old ways do not work. They may be honored as they laid the foundations, but there will eventually come a time when even these traditions must be reformed. My master learned that the hard way, and he had tasked me to make sure I don't repeat them. Though we are now husband and wife by your village's customs, I will not force you to love me if you don't. I will not treat you as a slave either. I believe we must know each other first before we can truly decide if marriage is worth it," Revan said, shocking all the Nashiko kunoichi. Shizuka's eyes widened at hearing Revan's words. She then smiled for what felt like the first time in years. I would like that very much, Revan. Your village is vulnerable. I know Sasuke will send more men, and in that second attack, your people may not survive. I know of a secret place where you can protect them. That is, if you are willing to evacuate." Revan offered to Shizuka a solution. She had to make the hard choice if it meant her people's survival. "I will order the evacuation. We will follow you wherever you go, Revan," she said, and Revan smiled. She ordered all kunoichi to abandon the village and follow Revan to the mountains in the far north where there was an abandoned fort. There, the kunoichi of Nashiko can be protected as it was easy to defend given its geography and free from Zetsu patrol. This was just the start of Revan's adventures before he could join the Leaf again. There were dark forces that first needed to be wiped out. Dark powers that have their origin dating back to the first Sith Lords. Versus Darth and Dedu. -3 weeks later, after Revan had successfully rescued the kunoichi of Nashiko village from Sasuke's soldiers. He had married the village's leader, Shizuka, and she had ordered the populace be moved to more secure lands. Much closer to the Land of Spring, as Revan was good friends with Koyuki and with X-21 and BB4's help, leveled up the nation's defenses. After that, Revan had liberated multiple prison complexes where Sasuke had put prisoners, traitors, and lab experiments. He had broken into 6 such prisons and liberated nearly 2,000 people. Liberator, Savior, and Hero were some of the things he was called. Some of them decided to join him, like Gyurin, one of Orochimaru's former lieutenants who betrayed him. Kurosuchi, granddaughter of the 3rd Tsuchikage who was assassinated. The new Tsuchikage had supporters of Onoki killed, and she barely fled her birth village. She was caught by Sasuke's men and imprisoned so that the deranged Uchiha could use her as breeding stock, but Revan saved her from that grim fate. Last was Samui, a blonde-haired Jonan from the Hidden Cloud. When Yujito Ni was captured by the Akatsuki, she and her friends were against the Raikage decision to not help the Jinchuriki. When Sasuke's soldiers killed her friends and brother, the Raikage refused to send backup once again. Now all 3 girls pledged their undying loyalty to Revan, who had rescued them. Currently, Revan was in his Dawnseeker and returning to his home world along with BB4, Karen, and Samui. He could not use chakra anymore, but his comrades can. With the Sealing Scrolls property being made known to him once more, Revan set out to his secret weapon stash and loaded them all into the scrolls. Blasters, detonators, rocket launchers, and proton torpedoes all inside several scrolls. He took the time to steal some new medical equipment like Bacta and medic droid parts and 5 canisters of Tabana gas. Right now, Sammy was annoyed at Karen's loud noises, who was learning everything about the art of medicine and healing from the medic droid brain. Lord Revan, must you tolerate that red-haired harpy? Sammy asked Revan as he piloted the Dawnseeker. Sammy, we've been through this. You don't need to call me Lord or Master. You are not my apprentice or servant, and you just have to tolerate it a bit for now. Sammy, we're almost home. Revan replied, making her sigh in relief. At least it's coming to an end now, Lord Revan, Sammy said, and Revan let out a minor sigh. Perhaps some things will not change. The Dawnseeker landed on its platform where X-21 and the others were waiting for them. The doors opened, and Revan came out. Sammy was behind him with a box full of scroll. The trip went well, I presume, Master Revan? X-21 asked. It did, X-21. We got more than we bargained for. Revan said, and X-21 saw the Tabana gas. Is that Tabana gas? Oh my, I haven't seen Tabana gas since the Battle of Coruscant. I will have them secure and ready to be used, Master. X-21 said, and took the Tabana gas just as Shizuka came to hug her husband. Revan, I missed you, Shizuka said, hugging Revan tighter. Shizuka, it's been only 8 hours, Revan said. 8 hours to you, but for me it feels like 8 days. Shizuka replied with a slight blush. Is she flirting with me? I don't really understand. Neither my masters or the Jedi texts have anything regarding this. Though I said emotions weren't to be taboo in the New Order, I have no experience in this. Master Obi-Wan, you dated the Mandalorian Duchess. Couldn't you have given me tips? Revan said in his mind, and he just returned the hug. Sorry to keep you waiting, Shizuka. I won't take long again. Though there are countless stars in the galaxy, none compare to your beauty. Revan told her, and Shizuka nearly fainted. Did I do something wrong? Gurren Karatsuchi, can you take the blasters and torpedoes in the cave? The torpedoes especially are prone to explosions, so I would like to avoid that. Revan asked the 2 girls. Of course, Lord Revan. The 2 replied at the same time and left. The other trying to reach the cave first. What weird stuff I have to endure, wouldn't you say, Master Obi-Wan? Revan asked Obi-Wan's ghost, which wasn't there with him, but he could feel the old man's presence. He put Shizuka's fainted body down, and Conan came to his side. Yes, Conan, Lord Revan, I have urgent news. An ancient demon named Morio has risen once more. His terracotta army marches, and the nations are on high alert. Conan informed Revan. Is there any way to defeat Morio? Conan? Anything you know? I believe it to be only a tale, but they did say the Priestess of the Land of Demons is capable of sealing him. I understand. Tell the others to get ready. We leave to stop Morio once they're ready. Revan told Conan, who left to do as told, and he turned around to see Obi-Wan's ghost. Master Obi-Wan, you're not here to give me advice about women, aren't you? Oh, I wish I could help you there, my dear boy, but I came here to tell you of the demon named Morio. Obi-Wan said. You know something, Master? I have been receiving visions lately of 2 dark figures. One, a rotting man with a skull-like face, and the other a human with a golden treasure. A great monster was there with the second one, protecting and serving him. There are 2 spirits of very powerful Sith Lords on your planet. Their followers brought them here, on your home planet, to hide them from the Jedi and other Sith. The one called Morio is Darth Andedu, the immortal God King of Prakith, and the second is Remulus Drapa, one of the first Sith Lords. You must finish them, Revan, if you want to save your planet. If left unchecked, they will grow to be a bigger threat than your former friend and tear this planet apart in their bid for power. I understand, Master Obi-Wan. Thank you, Revan said, and the old master's ghost faded. Revan prepared his blasters, and once the girls were ready, they moved out for the land of demons. Underground base. Useless pile of trash. A naked and very angry Sasuke shouted as he punched a naked woman in the face repeatedly. The woman cried, and Sasuke stopped and then proceeded to force himself upon her. Sasuke had tried to get women pregnant for some time to give birth to Uchiha, but the fact was, due to the curse seal and 9 tails chakra combination, he was sterile. He refused to believe such a thing, even though Sakura had confirmed it and she was Tsunade's best student. He ordered the ever-loyal Sakura to fix it, but she said it was impossible. In his anger, He had Sakura's limbs broken, and he forced himself upon her. After that, he had skinned her alive and threw her corpse to be fed to the starving prisoners. He used Sakura's skin to dress some girls, just so he could imagine himself torturing Sakura for her uselessness again. Ever since discovering the truth about his brother, Sasuke went into madness. A madness that Tobi exploited to make him a willing servant. Tobi had filled Sasuke's head with words of revenge, and Sasuke had only that in mind for the leaf. Revenge not by wiping the village that made him and his brother suffer, but to torture them and enslave them. Tobi was the only thing that kept Sasuke in line, and with him out of the picture, Sasuke was uncontrollable. Sasuke used brainwashing via mind control genjutsu to turn shinobi into his mindless soldiers. He made the citizens of grass, rain, waterfall, and more into slave labor, and used many as test subjects for Orochimaru's experimentations. At least 2,500 people died, including over 100 children, from such cruel experiments. What now? Can't you see I'm having my stress relief? Sasuke shouted to the two shinobi who knocked on his room. The two entered and were horrified to see Sasuke's room. It smelled of rotten corpses, dried blood on the walls, and there were 3 hung corpses of tortured women. The bed seemed to be made of bones and skin as well. Well, you better have a reason. Sasuke, the team sent to capture Kuoki Kazahana, was killed. We just learned that a few hours ago. One of the shinobi said to Sasuke, "Fools! What a bunch of incompetent morons am I working with? I trust you to do one simple thing, and you spectacularly failed at it." Sasuke roared in anger, and he punched the woman once more, breaking her teeth. "I will not permit you to talk to us like that, Sasuke Uchiha," the other shinobi said in a brave tone, and Sasuke was amused. "You don't permit me, huh? Did you forget who was in charge here?" Sasuke shouted, and he impaled the shinobi with a Chidori spear. "Get this garbage out of my sight, you equally pathetic fool, and get me another body," Sasuke ordered, and the terrified ninja took his dead comrade's corpse out the room. "Land of demons, aren't you one pretty priestess?" One of Yomi's servants remarked upon seeing Cheyenne, the priestess of demon country. Yomi being the fanatic zealot of Morio. Before the 4 of them could kill Cheyenne, however, they were lifted off the ground and then pushed into each other. They were then sent flying out of the temple and out into the square where they faced Revan. "Who are you, stranger? You may call me Revan Morningstar. I will say this once. Walk away and I will not kill you." Revan gave the 4 goons his offer and they laughed. "I don't care who you think you are. Boys, kill him," the pink-haired member of the group ordered, and went after Cheyenne. Revan tried to intercept, but his path was blocked when the white-haired member of the group lifted boulders to trap him. Revan was trapped just as a fire ring was sent in. A wind jutsu came in that ignited the fire, and the trap exploded. No way he's surviving that, the white-haired one boasted, but Revan's lightsaber flew right at his head, killing him. Revan jumped out of the trap, not a scratch on his body or cloak, and pushed the other 2 to the walls. Revan pulled them in closer and made them impact each other. The 2 got up and readied to kill Revan just as the Jedi ignited his lightsaber. The priestess was escorted out of her home by a guard, and the pink-haired member was on their tails. He prepared his weapons but was blasted in the head by X-21 and fell dead. The guard was frightened upon seeing the droid with the strange weapon, but X-21 reassured him to calm down. "Please be calm, mister. I am X-21, loyal assassin, commando and guard droid to my master, Revan Morningstar, who is here to protect the priestess of this land." "What are you?" the dark blue-haired man asked as he was dying. His other comrade already dead. "A protector of the innocent," Revan replied as he beheaded the man, and X-21 came to his side. "You secured the priestess?" X-21, "Certainly, master. She is well," X-21 replied. "Then, let's get the show going," Revan said, and walked inside the temple and had a conversation with Cheyenne. In that talk, Revan was able to bring the priestess out of her shell and inspired her to come with him to seal Morio, or rather, Darth Ndedu. Understand that Morio is far more than he claims to be. "Are you willing to come with me, Cheyenne?" "I am," Cheyenne bravely replied. X-21, "Get my armor ready. If Ndedu's army is as what they were reported like, I'll need it." Revan ordered X-21 to do so. "Understood, master. Preparing the Marauder now." X 21 left the room and got Revan's armor ready. A full song steel armor that looked like the Phase Zero Dark Trooper armor. Revan's armor had a jetpack equipped with shoulder rocket launchers and repeating blaster, wrist-mounted plasma charger, and flamethrowers with knee joint missile launchers. Thanks, X-21. Wouldn't be anything without you. Revan told X-21 and grabbed Cheyenne and flew to seal Morio off for good. Night, land of swamps. It was already night in the land of swamps where Morio, or Darth Andetta's body, was entombed. The 5 millennia-old Sith Lord's time to join his kind in chaos was upon him. However, the current problem was that Revan was surrounded by a horde of the Terracotta army made by the ancient Sith. No time to plan, just improvise. Revan muttered as he threw grenades, and they exploded and destroyed dozens of Terracotta soldiers. Revan got his blaster out, and with his wrist-mounted blaster and shoulder guns, unleashed hell on the Terracotta soldiers. Revan sliced the head off of a soldier and used the Force to push him off the cliff. Revan flew up and used his flamethrower to burn the mindless minions. He then used the Force to intensify the fire and made them explode. He was cutting and blasting them down, but they were too many. He took off his jetpack and strapped it on Cheyenne. He pressed the controls and Cheyenne was safely on the other side. Cheyenne shouted the Jedi's name as she grew increasingly concerned. Go! Revan shouted at her to go. Get inside and seal Ndedu. Don't worry about me. I'll take care of them. Revan reassured her, and Cheyenne hesitantly got inside. Revan focused large amounts of Force lightning on his arms, charging it, and then released in a burst of power that disintegrated the entire Terracotta army. Revan quickly made his way into the cave and saw Darth Andedu being fully revived. Revan, I'm sorry I failed. Cheyenne said in a sorry expression, but Revan comforted her. It's okay. We all make mistakes, even those who are wisest and strongest. Revan said to her, and he faced the ancient Sith Lord. I sense that the power he had as Morio still hasn't fully become one with his own. That means I have to destroy him before it's too late. Do you know who I am, Jedi Knight? Darth Andedu asked. I know exactly who you are. Darth Andedu, the immortal God King of Prakith and Dark Lord of the Sith. Far away from Prakith, wouldn't you say? Darth Andedu, you think you stand a chance against me, child? I am immortal, invincible, and all-powerful, and you are but an insignificant insect. Only a fool blinded by arrogance thinks he's invincible. For someone who fled from his own underlings, calling himself invincible is a bit too much. Silence. Darth Andedu roared as he unleashed Force lightning at Revan, who absorbed the attack. Darth Andedu then threw lava and boulders which Revan either dropped or threw back. Revan blasted Darth Andedu with his pale Force lightning, to which the Sith Lord was barely able to deflect. If this fight cannot be determined by our power in the Force, then perhaps in swordsmanship, Darth Andedu suggested and called his ancient Sith War sword to his hand. Revan felt no obligation and took out his own lightsaber. He ignited it and got into a sword stance, not of lightsaber combat, but of his own world. A stance called Kogasumi no Kami. Revan leapt forward and Darth Andedu was shocked to see his opponent's speed and power. Revan used Form 4 to outmaneuver the Sith Lord and enhanced his lightsaber with Force lightning to make the strikes deadlier. Darth Andedu was getting overwhelmed and realized his opponent's words were indeed true. All his life, he spent studying the Force to become immortal, but never honing his skills, which leads to his inexperience and weakness in direct combat. Revan used the fire of the cave to burn Darth Andedu's books and holocrons on the tomb. No! Darth Andedu roared in horror as all his knowledge burned before him, and Revan killed the Sith Lord by cutting him in half. Darth Andedu, who cheated death for about 5,000 years, was dead permanently. The cave started to collapse, and Revan quickly grabbed Cheyenne and flew out of the cave at once. Another happy landing, Revan said, quoting Master Obi-Wan Kenobi, and Cheyenne hugged him tightly just as the sun was rising. One ancient Sith Lord down, one more Sith Lord to go. Blood Prison. After Revan had killed Darth Andedu and saved the land of demons and the entire world from the rampaging Terracotta army, legends started spreading about the robed figure with a burning blue sword that protected the people. These rumors and legends started stirring up hope for the common people locked in the constant wars and was a nuisance to Sasuke Uchiha, the hidden stone and the hidden cloud. To other nations, however, Revan Morningstar was an anomaly and someone they must gain as an ally. Revan was currently in his ship, the Dawnseeker, and flew up above the planet's atmosphere and dropped the experimental satellites he and his droids were building. If these satellites were to be operational, he would gain complete view of the planet and be able to look into the core, know the structures and interiors of buildings, calculate the weather, and more. After doing so, he flew back down and landed. He walked out the Dawnseeker and went to X-21 and BB to check if it was working. "Are we expecting it to be operational, X-21?" Revan asked. "A few seconds, Master, and..." "Got it. Satellites are working perfectly, Master. We have full view of the planet down to the very core." X-21 replied. "Excellent work, X-21, BB4. We did it. Now, to locate the blood prison," Revan said, and was searching for the place where the Sith Lord, Remulus Drapa, was hiding in. "Got it. It's here. In the middle of the sea. The X-ray vision and heat signatures show a large metallic box in the prison, Master," X-21 said, showing Revan the schematics. "The tomb of Remulus Drapa. Legends say he is there with the larvae of a Sith spawn. I must be careful should I encounter it. Would you like to use the rifles with instant disintegrating rounds, Master? Could be useful, but I have no idea what they're doing in the prison. Tell you what, I'll infiltrate the place, and you and the girls be ready to storm in on my signal." "Okay, X-21. That seems like a rather reckless plan, Master. But then again, Jedi in the Clone Wars have been known to pull off crazy stunts and win despite superior droid forces. Maybe you will be able to pull it off, Master," X-21 said, and Revan chuckled. "Get the disguise clothing, BB4. I'll have to infiltrate from the front gate without anyone suspecting." Hozuki Castle. Revan was inside the prison along with other prisoners. The prison warden had came out to tell them the rules and regulations. Then, they were escorted inside for a full-body inspection. A prisoner who was sent there because he slaughtered a small village was talking with Revan, but his mind was on the white-haired woman before him. She was not who she seemed to be. Peering deeper, Revan found out she was an ANBU sent by the deposed Hidden Grass government. The higher-ups had tasked her to infiltrate this prison to gain control of the Box of Ultimate Bliss, a weapon capable of granting wishes. The box dated back to the era of the Sage of Six Paths, but Revan knew better. The box was the tomb of Remulus Drapa, and the ancient Sith Lord's power was manipulating several shinobi for his eventual return. Inside that box was a Sith spawn that would hatch and cause untold amounts of destruction if not stopped. Revan needed more info before he could act. He was next for the inspection, and he had to remove his clothes. "Get on one foot," the inspector ordered, but Revan refused to comply. "A bit feisty, aren't you? Well, we have just a thing for you." "Boys," the inspector said, and the guards moved in to hit Revan. "You will not abuse your power and stop this wickedness," Revan said, using Jedi mind trick on the guards and inspector. "I will not abuse my power and stop this wickedness," the inspector dumbly repeated. "You will give me my clothes, my items, and you will rethink your life." "I will give you your clothes, your items, and I will rethink my life," the inspector said, and gave Revan all his stuff back. Revan walked out the room and into his cell where he meditated. He meditated to gain a better understanding of his surroundings. Revan wasn't bothered by the fact that he had a fire seal on his body. The seal restricted the flow of chakra, but he lost the ability to mold it long ago, and it wasn't capable of restricting the force. He sensed the female grass ANBU leave her cell and out into a secret cave. Revan stood up and used the force to open his cell and put the guards to sleep. He walked out the prison and into the cave. "Pleasant night we have, wouldn't you say?" Revan asked, surprising the ANBU. She was one of the Hidden Grass top ANBU. To see her being sneaked up upon meant that the one standing in front of her was extremely powerful. Ryuzetsu, Hidden Grass ANBU, specializes in espionage, information gathering, infiltration, and assassinations like all ANBU, but you are a very good one at it, Revan said, and Ryuzetsu sat down. "You did your research, I see. I don't recall seeing you in the bingo book before," Ryuzetsu stated, trying to learn everything about the blonde. "I'm rather new in the world stage. No pictures of me are available to any nation, although you may recognize my name. I am Revan Morningstar," Revan said his name, which shocked Ryuzetsu. Revan Morningstar? The same one who defeated the demon Morio a few weeks back? Why do I have a hard time believing someone as powerful as yourself can be caught so easily? Ryuzetsu asked, though she knew the answer. I can sense that you know the answer already and just want confirmation. No one knows that Revan Morningstar in the Blood Prison. You are here to get intel regarding the box of ultimate bliss. Are you some sort of telephat? I am. Next question. How did you escape the prison without being caught? Security would be in a panic by now. I have my ways. This isn't the first prison I've broken out of. A prison I had broken out of would electrocute you at any moment with a device since the floor was trapped. Escape seemed impossible, but I did it, Revan said. Really? You have no idea just the amount of planning I had to do with the others. I know you were sent to know more and if proven dangerous, destroy the box. Are you here because you want to use the box for your own desires? I cannot allow that. No, I am here to destroy it. The box is not what it seems. Then what is it? A tomb. Revan said, confusing Ryuzetsu. A tomb, the resting place of an ancient evil that is far more ancient than even the Sage of Six Paths. By about 6,000 or so years. Much like Morio, the box houses a Sith Lord. One of the first. A Sith Lord? You're not making much sense. There's too much to explain, and we don't have time. Just know that they are feeding the box large amounts of chakra, which will reawaken the Sith and his beast. When they rise, they will cause untold amounts of chaos and tear this whole apart. I am here to prevent that from happening. Why tell me this? Because we have the same goals. The enemy of my enemy is a friend. You have heard of this saying, no? I believe we can help each other achieve our respective goals. I will inform the grass leaders to send in reinforcements. If this threat is truly as dangerous as you say, it will take an army to stop it. And I too will call for mine, Revan said and took out his data phone. What's that? Ryuzetsu asked, curious to know what the device was since she had never seen it before. A data phone. Revan simply said, X-21, can you come here in 3 days' time? The box will be activated in that time. Understood, Master. Will do. X-21 replied. Oh, and bring in a proton torpedo. Revan added and ended the transmission. We better get back now before the guards wake up, Revan said and walked back to the prison. Minus 3 days later, Revan had snuck into the watchtower looking for decent food, and he found it. And I thought Imperial Army rations were bad. The food here in this prison makes it look like a feast. Revan said in annoyance and ate the food. Just then, the prison yard shook and out came the box. Damn it, X-21, come to the prison now, Revan said over on the comms and left to face Remulus Drapa. The Sith spawn was already out, throwing people into the box to be turned into mindless ghouls. The prison warden Mui was bleeding heavily and Ryuzetsu was there to help him. I thought, Mui said weakly, that I could see my son once more. Grass Ninja entered the prison only to be defeated and thrown into the box along with both guards and prisoners. Your son is dead, Revan said, coming forward. The creature you see before you is not your son. It's a Sith spawn, a genetically modified animal turned to be a mindless killing machine for the ancient Sith. Revan, can you stop that thing? Ryuzetsu asked, and everyone was surprised to hear Revan Morningstar was here. You are Revan Morningstar? Mui asked, astonished. I can, Revan said and threw a bandage along with some medicine to Mui. Ryuzetsu, you were trained to some degree in medical ninjutsu. Heal Mui. I need everyone who can fight to be ready. The humans thrown inside will come out as nothing more than deformed, mindless ghouls. Try to avoid the Sith spawn, lest you serve Remulus Drapa. Revan told them, and Mui had released the fire seal to give the prisoners an edge. Jedi, the Sith spawn known to legend and myth, as Satora shouted. I can sense your power. You will serve Lord Drapa for eternity. The Sith spawn then flew to attack Revan, but was stopped midair. No thanks. I like being sentient the way I am, Revan said, then threw the Sith spawn aside to the wall. The Sith spawn then threw a barrage of sharp feathers at Revan, who masterfully dodged all the attacks. Revan grabbed 2 normal swords and deflected the feathers with ease, and he started fusing force lightning into the blades. He jumped up and sliced Satoru's right wing off, and the Sith spawn fell down. The Sith spawn came to deal a fatal blow, but Revan managed to grab the claws. Force lightning danced around Revan's arm, and he electrocuted Satori with his pale lightning. Revan was ambushed by a gray-scaled human, and he figured the Sith spawnification was faster than expected. Revan channeled Force lightning and turned the human, Sith spawn to ashes. He focused large amounts of Force lightning onto the swords, and he flew straight into Satori's head. The force of the swords penetrated into the brain, and Satori fell dead. The Sith spawn were rushing towards Revan, and he started cutting them down. Revan sliced the Sith spawn in half and impaled another, and he used the Force to pull several towards him. He jumped up and cut 4 of them, and he was cutting down more of them. He was getting overwhelmed, and he pushed Ryuzetsu away from the fighting. "Revan!" Ryuzetsu shouted, but Revan only winked at her, asking her to trust him. Revan focused the Force lightning and then unleashed it, turning the horde of Sith spawn into ashes. Just as it occurred, the ancient Sith Lord, Remulus Drapo, appeared. He was a human baron and Jedi admiral who fell to the dark side and was one of the first Sith Lords alongside Ajunapal, Sorza Sin, Zoxan, and Karnas Mur about 7,000 years ago. Remulus Drapo was a tall human with a red hue, and his hair was styled like a tattoo. Mui, Ryuzetsu, and anyone still alive held fear for the Sith Lord as they felt the power he radiated. He looked at the onslaught done by a relatively young Jedi Knight and was impressed. To think a mere child would be able to kill my Leviathan and horde of Sith spawn. Sorza Sin made those Sith spawn, and to see a single Jedi, and one so young, to kill it is astonishing, Remulus Drapo said, praising Revan for his talents. Baron Remulus Drapo, the years were not kind to you. To be over 7,000 years old and happen to be imprisoned twice in the tomb you built for your rival, Karnas Mur, and be trapped for thousands of years must be a pain, Revan said, shocking Mui and Ryuzetsu and the age of Remulus Drapo. He's over 7,000 years old. Ryuzetsu asked, "Why don't you join me? You are extremely powerful in the Force, young Jedi. Join me and become my apprentice. I can teach you the ways of the dark side, and you can become even more powerful." "No thanks." Revan rejected Drapo's offer, and the Sith Lord called his lightsaber. "Pity. I'll just have to take your power and make it mine," Drapo said and ignited his red lightsaber. "That is if you can kill me," Revan retorted, igniting his own lightsaber and got into his stance. Both Force users jumped up and dueled, the red and blue blades moving to and fro like flashes. To the shinobi present, it seemed like quick lightning strikes, and none were able to correctly know where either Revan or Drapo stood. Drapo kicked Revan to the wall, and Revan used a Force ability called Flow Walk to stand on the wall. Drapo followed, and the two fought intensely. Revan used Form 4 to be faster than his opponent, while Drapo managed to keep up. Revan struck left, but Drapo blocked and kicked his opponent away. Revan pushed Drapo to the tower and jumped up. Remulus Drapo used the Force to lift up rocks and throw it at Revan. Revan cut the rocks with ease and reached Drapo. The two continued their duel, and Remulus Drapo used Force lightning to attack Revan. The Jedi used Force drain to absorb the attack and shot his own Force lightning back at Remulus Drapo. The repulse from the Force lightning sent Revan down to the ground, and Drapo jumped to impale him, but Revan managed to evade it. The two continued dueling once more. "I was among the first Sith. I led mighty fleets to battle and slain dozens of Jedi. I have the power of the dark side, a power you Jedi fear, and that is why I will win," Remulus Drapo declared as he Force pushed Revan to the wall and collapsed it down upon him. "Revan!" Ryuzetsu shouted and was faced with the Sith Lord. Fire style, Fire Demon Lantern. She shot multiple fireballs at Drapo, who deflected them with ease. "Brave move, child. A trait the Sith could value, but you are not even a fraction Force sensitive. You will not die, but serve me as my ghouls," Drapo said and Force choked Ryuzetsu, but was saved by Revan. "It will take more than a few rocks to kill me, Remulus Drapo," Revan said and ignited his saber once more. Drapo unleashed Force lightning, which knocked off Revan's lightsaber and charged at his opponent. He planned to impale Revan, but was dumbfounded to see the Jedi use Force drain to make the attack disappear. Revan called his lightsaber back and fought Drapo once more. Revan overpowered the Sith Lord, who unleashed another Force lightning attack. Revan countered with his own and then shot his lightning straight at Remulus Drapa's heart. Drapa's eyes and mouth lit up as the lightning sent him flying into his own tomb, and Revan released his most powerful surge yet and destroyed the box of ultimate bliss. Revan sighed and relied and sat down. Another job well done. 2 Sith Lords down, and with that, I can go forward and return home once more. Hope has returned. Planet in the unknown regions. Revan Morningstar had defeated Remulus Drapa, one of the first Sith Lords. After the whole battle in the Blood Prison, the prison warden named Mui had decided to take over as the Hidden Grass Remnant's new leader since his superiors were dead. Ryuzetsu, the Grass ANBU, had voiced her desire to join Revan's team, and Revan accepted her into his team. After that, Revan got the idea of infusing the light side energy into his lightsaber to make it much stronger. A technique used by the ancient Sith Lord Exarchuan over 3,000 years ago. The result was an extremely powerful lightsaber that could cut through anything, including Beskar. Right now, Revan was with Conan, Kuratsuchi, and Ryuzetsu on an uncharted planet in the unknown regions. Revan was called here, but FOT what reason he did not know. Keep your eyes sharp. We don't know what we might encounter. Revan told them, and he sensed a presence. He quickly acted and jumped to block an attack directed at Kuratsuchi. Wait, we're friendly. Stand down. Revan said, and the figure withdrew his green lightsaber. I'm a Jedi, Ezra Bridger. The figure identified as Ezra Bridger took off his helmet and looked at his fellow Jedi. Really? Sorry about that. Spending much time trying to avoid the Empire will do that. Ezra said, It's okay. I've heard of your exploits in Lothal. I am honored to see a fellow Jedi still kicking. My name is Revan Morningstar, Master Yoda's apprentice. Master Yoda has an apprentice? That's new. What are you doing here, Ezra? If you need a way off this planet, I can offer you a ride. Revan offered, but Ezra rejected. No thanks. I have a mission to do. Ezra said, and Revan understood what the older Jedi meant. Exegol, you are attempting to find that planet, aren't you? And to track Thrawn's movements, but yeah, I have a Sith Wayfinder in my ship. It leads to Exegol. If the Force tasked you to find it, then perhaps the Wayfinder is meant to be in your hands. I'll give it to you, Revan said, and brought the Wayfinder to Ezra's ship. It was an ugly, built by mixing a TIE bomber with the wings of 2 TIE interceptors and having parts of a Lambda shuttle. Ain't that an ugly? Master Revan, isn't that a bit rude? Kuratsuchi asked. No, Kurotsuchi. Ugly is just a term used to describe a ship made from different ship parts. It's not an actual ship, just a combo of some parts, Revan explained. I thank you, Revan. You just made my job a lot easier. Ezra said just as the engine of his ship came off. Not again. If your ship needs repairs, BB-4 and I can help. Revan offered and his droid came out to help. BB-4 fixed Ezra's ship, and both Ezra and Revan decided to have a training session. Both had a lightsaber sparring match in which it was clear Revan was the superior swordsman. Ezra too had great force potential, and the two of them exchanged notes regarding past experiences. Revan gave Ezra his proposals for the new Jedi Order. In it, a Jedi can have attachments and would be able to fight the dark side's influence. Yoda had approved of it, though it took some time, according to Revan. Ezra had to agree with Revan's proposals. He had grown stronger thanks to his desires to protect his friends. Though he nearly fell to the dark side, he did not, and became a better Jedi than he was. Revan also gave Ezra some holocrons which contained the teachings of past Jedi as a way to help Ezra reach his full potential. After that, the two parted ways and left the planet to go on their own journey. Elemental Prime. As I said, meat bag. You have to dash. X-21 was cut off by an angry Karen. The redhead angry at being called meat bag over and over again. Listen here, Tinkin, we all have names and you should just stop with the whole meat bag thing, Karen said. But you're a meat bag. It is just a term droids like to call organics. There is no offense in calling you that, but since you call me Tin Can, I will use it to refer to you specifically. X-21 said, which irritated Karen. Arguing amongst ourselves isn't cool, guys. What will Master Revan say when he returns? Samwise said, and when you speak of the devil, he will appear. I would be somewhat disappointed, Samwise. Revan said, surprising everyone. Master Revan, you're back. Giran said as she stood up to greet her savior. How was the trip, Master? Pleasant is the best way to describe it, I suppose. Revan said and faced the two. I told you before, no fighting amongst ourselves. We are all comrades here. And no buts, Karen. I told you many times before. I understand, Master Revan. Karen said, looking ashamed at herself. I forgive you. We all make mistakes, and it would be wrong to act all perfect and condemn you. However, fighting amongst friends is something I will not tolerate. Understand that. Now let's dash. Revan stopped mid-sentence as he felt the familiar presence of old friends. What's wrong, Master Revan? Giran asked. People need our help. Revan replied, and he walked out to help them. Secret underground base. The people Revan referred to were the last members of the Rookie 9 and Team Guy. Ino Yamanaka and her boyfriend Sai, a heavily injured Shikamaru and Choji, Tintin, Rock Lee, and a wounded Shino were trapped in one of Orochimaru's underground bases. It was supposed to be an information gathering and infiltration mission, but it went horribly wrong. They were caught, and though backup was asked, the AMBU team was still far away. After Naruto's disappearance, the group was different from the good old days. Sakura was deranged, and she defected to Sasuke, having blown up the Leaf's hospital and academy to prove her loyalty. Now, no one knows just what she is doing with Sasuke. Hinata, Niji, and Kiba had killed in the attack nearly a year back along with Kakashi and Might Guy. The Leaf situation was extremely terrible with them down to only half their manpower. It seemed as though death was inevitable, as outside the room in which they hid were 20 sound ninja. As they lost hope, however, everyone in the underground base felt a powerful presence, and Ino went to the crystal to see who it was. Mandalorian OST, a friend. Who is it, Ino? Tintin asked, hoping it was backup. Someone is here, Ino replied. Just one person? Well, aren't we rescued? Shikamaru sarcastically remarked. Ino watched as a robed figure entered the base and kill of 4 cursed seal enhanced soldiers. He cut one soldier, then deflected another's own jutsu back at himself, and another soldier while the last one was cut. The figure held a glowing blue katana that could cut through anything, and Ino knew it was only one person. Revan. It's Revan Morningstar, Ino said, and a feeling of surprise and a strange calm came to the Leaf Ninja. Maybe there was hope after all. Revan had cut off a soldier's arm, then beheaded it, and used his power to push another one to be impaled by spears, and he cut the third in half. Revan then continued moving. He blocked a water jutsu and threw it back at the caster. He blocked a punch, then cut the soldier into 3 pieces. A soldier grabbed Revan's shoulder, and Revan cut off his arm, then decapitated him. Revan used the force to push a charging berserk soldier back and trap a second one. He cut the berserker and then beheaded the trapped soldier before continuing downwards. On the other side of the room, the soldiers prepared to face whoever it was that came. A short silence, which was followed by Revan entering through the door and cutting 2 of them down instantly. A fireball was shot, but Revan deflected it back, burning 6 more. Revan started to cut them down and cut kunais and shurikens, and then he pushed the last 3 back. He threw a sword at a soldier which hit him in the head, and Revan pulled one soldier to him and cut him in half. Revan used the force to crush the last soldier, and he died. He used the force to open the door, and he showed himself to the Leaf team. It's okay. You are safe now, Revan said, unveiling his hood and shocked everyone, minus Sai. Naruto, is that you? Shikamaru asked. The whiskers were gone. The hair wasn't as spiky, and the face was scarred somewhat, but he recognized the blonde face anywhere. In the flesh, Shika, the years haven't been kind to you, I see. A good night's sleep you sorely need, Revan said and embraced a teary Shikamaru's hug. It's you. It's really you. After 4 years, you're back, Shikamaru said, trying to fight back the tears. Are you Revan Morningstar? I am, Shika, and I am here to join the Leaf. Outside, Yugao Yuzuki was captain of the Leaf's ANBU. In these troubling times, she had to leave more frequently to face Sasuke's minions in the borders. Right now, she was being tended of her wounds by foreign kunoichi. She had gone to aid a group of Jonan being trapped, but her squad got ambushed, and she would have died had it not been for the foreign kunoichi's timely arrival. She was thankful to survive and fight another day. Thank you, she said to the black-haired, green-eyed kunoichi who tended her wounds. It's all right. We're happy to help. My name's Shizuka. What's yours? Shizuka introduced herself and asked for Yugao's name. Yugao Yuzuki. Yugao introduced herself and she heard noises. She turned around and saw the Leaf Jonan team along with the red-haired associate of Sasuke, the crystal-using follower of Orochimaru, the Akatsuki leader's partner, and someone she thought she would never meet. Naruto Uzumaki. Naruto, you know who these three are, right? Ino asked Revan, as she was a bit skeptical about the three women. I understand you, Ino, but rest assured, they have changed. They're part of my group now, Revan assured her. Okay, if you say so. Listen, Naruto, about what happened 4 years back. It's not my fault. Danzo. Ino was stopped by Revan's finger silencing her. I know what Danzo did, Ino. I forgive you, as you had no idea what you were doing, Revan said, and was instantly tackled by his wife. Shizuka, did I make you wait too long again? I just missed you, Shizuka replied. Who's this, Naruto? Your girlfriend? Ino asked in a teasing manner. My wife, actually, Revan answered, and it made the Leaf team, minus Sai, choke on their saliva. Wife? Ino, Shikamaru, Choji, Rock Lee, and Tintin asked out loud. Even Yugao was surprised. It's a long story, one that I will share soon, Revan said and caught sight of Yugao. Ah, Captain Yugao, I didn't notice you. You're healed up, I see. I never got to say this, but thank you for watching over me when I was a young boy. I thank you for protecting me. No problem, Naruto, Yugao replied, trying to fight a blush at Revan's face. It's Revan Morningstar now, Revan replied, shocking Yugao. Why you are Revan Morningstar? The same one who defeated Morio and destroyed the box of ultimate bliss, Yugao asked just as BB 4 and X-21 entered the scene. Master, all the cursed meat bags have been X-21 was interrupted by a frightened scream from Ino and Tintin. Did that thing just talk? Ino asked, fear ruling her mind. Naruto, what is that? Young lady, I am very much offended that you meat bags continue calling me a thing. I am X-21 and I am programmed to be an assassin, a guard, and a commando. If you have a problem with my design, take it up with my designers and TNE1 who commissioned me. I was designed to be scary, and though your screams help, calling me a thing is not. If it were not for my master's orders, I would terminate you myself like I did so many meat bags in the Clone Wars. X-21 finished his little rant, then got the medic pack. You'll get used to it. I know I did, Karen smugly told the two Kunoichi. Sorry about that. X-21 is a droid, not a living person, but he does have feelings. Take a seat. X-21 and BB4 will patch you guys up, Revan told them, and the two girls took an instant liking to BB4. Troublesome. When do you plan to tell us your 4-year adventures, Naruto? Shikamaru asked. All in good time, Shika. One must be patient first, as it makes all rewards ever sweeter, Revan replied, and Shikamaru had to wonder just what happened to Naruto in these past 4 years. Hidden Leaf Village. After some time, they all returned to the Hidden Leaf Village, but were stopped by a gate guard. The guard was rude and would not obey Yugao's orders, but Revan had a trick to help him. You will allow us passage, Revan said and waved his hand. I will allow you passage, THD guard dumbly said and allowed them, shocking the others at his power once more. You will stop your drug abuse, make amends with your family, and rethink your life, Revan said to the guard still under his control. I will stop my drug abuse, make amends with my family, and rethink my life, the guard said and left to do as he was told. What did you do to him? Shikamaru asked. I helped him get through his pride and to become a better person, Revan replied as he entered the village. More than 78% of the village was in ruins from Sasuke and Tobi's failed assault. The same failed assault that took the lives of Hinata, Niji, Kiba, Kakashi, and Might Guy. The village infrastructure was recovered by barely 15%, and the manpower was lost by half. Revan was there to change it. He was there to ensure Sasuke's madness did not spread, and he would cause any more damage beyond this. The Hokage's office was currently occupied by 5th Hokage Tsunade Senju, her 2 advisors Jiraiya and Shikaka Nara, her assistant Shizen, and the clan heads. They were discussing logistics and strategies just as the Leaf team plus Yugao entered. Lady Tsunade, we're back, Ino said, and Tsunade was glad to see her good pupil still alive. Ino, thank the sage you're still alive, Tsunade said, some stress leaving her aging body. We brought in much needed backup, Lady Tsunade, Ino said, and the girls one by one entered the room. Tsunade could swear Jiraiya planned to use some for his novels, but she was surprised to see Karen, Conan, Karatsuchi, and Giran among the group. Then a black-robed and hooded figure stood in front of them all. It's been a long time. Revan spoke, and his voice shocked Jiraiya and Tsunade. It may have been more mature, a lot more elegant, calm and wiser, but they still recognized it as the voice of someone they cared. "Hello, Granny, Pervy Sage. It's good to see you again," Revan said and put down his hood. Both Tsunade and Jiraiya were nearly crying at the sight before them. "Naruto? Is it really you?" Tsunade muttered as she went forward and hugged Naruto. Jiraiya followed and embraced his one-time apprentice despite his weak and frail body. Revan had returned the embrace. He welcomed the hugs the two gave him, and he was happy to receive it from them. Strengthening the leaf. Hokage Tower. Hidden Leaf. Tsunade, Jiraiya, the clan heads, Shizun, Yugao, and the Leaf Jonan could not believe what they heard of Revan aka Naruto Uzumaki's story. A galaxy filled with exotic life. A living energy that binds all living things. An order of sorcerers who could wield it, and a war between a galaxy-spanning empire and a rebellion. It was almost too much to believe, even in a world of monstrous tailed beasts. "Naruto? Revan, it's a bit too much to believe," Tsunade said, still trying to process what she heard. "And yet here I am with a pretty impressive record defeating ancient demons, a metal arm, and 2 sentient machines," Revan replied. He then lifted the drawers and empty chairs with his telepathy to prove it. "Believe me now?" "Ugh, fine," Tsunade said. The same blonde she knew was always full of surprises. "So, you'll join the Leaf again, right, Naruto?" "Yes, that is correct. Given your reputation, I may have to promote you to Jonan immediately. Would be a terrible joke for the infamous Revan Morningstar to be a genin now, wouldn't it? But you must undertake some tests first, Naruto. We need some confirmation to know if you can be accepted as a Jonan," Tsunade informed him. "I understand, Lady Hokage. I wasn't knighted by Master Yoda immediately. I had to train intensively and gain experience for nearly 4 years before he could knight me," Revan said, and Tsunade found it funny how she missed being called Granny by the blonde on a regular basis. "I would like to meet your master, Naruto. You make him sound extremely powerful. I'm afraid Master Yoda is not really fit for traveling anymore. He's too old, about 900 years in fact," Revan said, surprising all of them at the age of the Grandmaster. 900 years? Is that even possible? Choji Akimichi asked, stunned to hear the statement. "Different species have different lifespans compared to humans, Choji. We humans tend to live on average about 70 years. Some species live shorter lives, or even longer lives," Revan explained. "I understand the Leaf is in severe need of manpower and defenses. Shizuka here is leader of Nashiko. She may allow some of her kunoichi to come, X-21 and BB, for can help the hospital and train new troops. I have some friends who may join us after some convincing. Thank you very much, Naruto. You couldn't have returned at a better time. I look forward to seeing what new types of medicine and medical tools your 2 droids can teach me. You said you received visions of the past, Naruto. Do you know your parentage?" Tsunade asked. "Yes. It was most surprising to be honest. My father was Minato Namikaze, the 4th Hokage, and my mother was Kushina Uzumaki. I will take my birthright and live in my father's manor," Revan said. "And I would be happy to give it to you, Naruto. You don't have to worry about the villagers. I've already declared to everyone your heritage about 11 months back. No one will discriminate against you," Tsunade said, giving Naruto the key to his new house. "Thank you, Lady Hokage," Revan said and took out his data phone to deliver his commands. "What's that?" Tsunade asked. "A data phone. I'm transmitting my coordinates from my ship, the Dawnseeker, to land near the Namikaze Manor," Revan said. "Wait, Naruto." Jiraiya called out his one-time student's name. "The place is protected by high-level security seals. I will come with you to disable them." "Of course, Master Jiraiya. Shall we get going?" Revan asked, and the perverted toad stood up his couch to go with his former student. "Not one of your ideas, Jiraiya-sensei, and don't corrupt Master Revan with your personality. I will end you if you do." Conan threatened Jiraiya, who paled. Okay, I promise, Conan," Jiraiya said, begging for mercy. Tsunade breathed a sigh of relief at Naruto's return. Now, Sasuke Uchiha's days were numbered, and perhaps she can pass on the mantle of Hokage to Naruto after the war is over and peacefully retire. Unidentified planet. 3 days later, Revan had traveled to Shanapol after the Mon Calamari shipbuilder quarry was targeted by Imperial forces. Revan saved the shipbuilder and offered him a chance to live on Elemental Prime, Revan's homeworld. The shipbuilder didn't really know where to go, and the reveal of Revan's home, being rich with dunium and iridium, was enough to convince Quarry to go. Quarry had a translator put into him so that he could understand the native language, and then became part of the research and logistics division of the Leaf military. He helped Leaf builders learn how to engineer and create machines. The Leaf village benefited greatly from him. Next, Revan encountered clone Commander Wolf, who was wounded and stranded on a planet after a failed rebel assault. Revan helped Commander Wolf and convinced the clone commander to join him. Now, Wolf helped train new conscripts of the Leaf in modern equipment to become soldiers, just like how the Republic helped the Onderon rebels and more during the Clone Wars. Revan had used sealing scrolls to great effect. Commander Wolf had known some secret locations where weapons and even deactivated droids were kept. Revan flew to these coordinates and, with Jiraiya's help, sealed more than they could manage. Battle droids were reprogrammed and were helping the village in its rebuilding and construction. Medic droids were also taken to make up for Sakura's betrayal, in which she blew up the Leaf Hospital. THR Haruno's betrayal resulted in the loss of 85% of the Leaf's doctors and nurses. Right now, Revan was inspecting an unidentified planet that held a broken Munificent-class star frigate. With him were Conan, Ryuzetsu, and Shizuka, and they were investigating the crash site. Weapons and deactivated droids, but nothing new. That was until Revan found a stasis pod and he investigated. He opened the pod, and out came a clone trooper. The clone gasped as he was looking frantically at his surroundings and saw the teen with the lightsaber. "Are you a Jedi?" the clone asked. "I am. My name is Revan Morningstar, and I freed you from the stasis pod." "Stasis pod?" "Yes. I remember. Top. Fives. Separatist droids. They took me and the order. Commander, we have to dash." The clone frantically shouted until Revan calmed him. "Calm down, soldier. Calm down. Yes, calm down. Sorry, sir. My name is Kix, CT 6116. Sir, I have proof that there is a dirty plot waiting to be activated. I need to dash. The war is over, Kix." "What?" Kix asked in disbelief. "It's over? Did we win, sir?" "It's a long story, Kix. You better sit down," Revan said, and he brought Kix up to speed in recent events. From the fall of the Republic in Order 66, the rise of the Empire, the Death Star, and the Galactic Civil War. It's hard to think that more than 20 years have passed, sir. I have nowhere else to go. No purpose. Not quite, Kix. My planet is in need of experienced men like you in troubling times. I could use your help, Kix. That is, if you're willing to," Revan offered. "Well, it would be just like the good old days fighting clankers beside Jedi generals, sir." "Clone Trooper CT 6116 reporting for duty, sir," Kix said with a salute. "Thank you, Kix. You don't have to call me sir, you know." "So, just a force of habit, sir." Revan chuckled at the reply. "Might as well get used to it. Even Wolf is like that." "Commander Wolf? He's alive." "Alive and kicking, Kix. Come. Let's get you to your new home. Main Uchiha base. Is it accurate? That idiot really is Revan Morningstar?" Sasuke asked. "Yes, sir. We triple-checked our sources," the minion replied. "So, you finally decided to show your face after so long, and then you got the balls to target my bases, Naruto. No matter. Since you joined the Leaf, I could just take out 2 birds with 1 stone. How does our lab rat fare?" Sasuke asked in reference to Yamato. The wood-style user was captured by Sasuke, who then used him to power the growth of more white Zetsu clones. "We have 60,000 currently available, sir," a scientist replied. "Not enough. Toby and I attacked with more than that, and we lost. I want that number to increase to twice the current one," Sasuke ordered. "But sir, it would kill the wood user. And it would kill the curse-sealed prisoners powering the destroyed remnants of the demonic Estark." The scientist was then beheaded by Sasuke. "I don't care. Increase the number. I want to complete by 3 weeks' time, and I don't care about the necessities to do it," Sasuke roared, then left the lab like a child throwing a temper tantrum. Hidden Leaf Village. 1 week later, Tsunade smiled to herself as the paperwork could be done by her assistant droid, a reprogrammed B1 battle droid, which she named Mito 2 in honor of her grandmother. Now she didn't have to worry about paperwork anymore. Thanks, Mito 2. You have relieved of so much stress, Tsunade said. My pleasure, ma'am. Say, what should I do regarding trade deals with Wave, miss? They're considering pulling out of the already established trade deal. Mito 2 asked. Have Revan go to Wave. He is popular in that country, so should be able to strengthen our relationship. Tsunade replied. Roger, ma'am. Mito 2 said and printed the orders. Hospital. Ino was put in charge of the new Leaf Hospital and was happy to be taught advanced medical studies by the medic droids. Still, she didn't know everything and was still asking X-21 some questions. So, Bacta is a type of drug? Ino asked. Yes. Bacta is a miracle drug used for burns and flesh wounds. X-21 replied. Its first use was thousands of years ago and was a replacement for Juven. Thanks, X-21. Say, can I ask you some questions? It's regarding Naruto. Naruto? Ah, yes. My master's old name. Ask away, meatbag. Are Jedi invincible? X-21? From what Naruto has shown, I'm inclined to believe, but you fought in a war where thousands of Jedis were on the front lines. You obviously know more, and I wanted to know. Question, are Jedi invincible? Answer, not all, but some are pretty close. Like Jedi Knight Anakin Skywalker, Masters Obi-Wan Kenobi and Mace Windu, and the Grandmaster Yoda himself. Compared to them, how does Naruto's skills compare? Master Revan's lightsaber skills are more than good, but compared to the 4 just previously mentioned, he still needs more experience. My master did not fight in a galaxy-wide war whereas his predecessors did, but he has massive potential. His abilities in the Force are powerful, but not yet on the levels of Master Windu and Yoda. Both Jedi have been known to be able to lift entire armies of battle droids. They also single-handedly took down armies of droids of varying kind. While my master has the ability to shoot lightning, he has room to improve. Would Naruto be mad if I asked you what weapons can kill a Jedi? No. My master himself has asked me that question. Said that in the event I encountered a dark Jedi, an Inquisitor, or a Sith, I was to use my knowledge to kill said enemy. He also ordered me to kill him in the event he were to fall to the dark side. In fact, he made my armor much tougher to resist lightsaber strikes and ordered me to build in several upgrades with Jedi killing weapons. I see. So what can kill a Jedi? Slug throwers are likely to kill a clumsy Jedi. The dense shell of a slug thrower can either penetrate the plasma of a lightsaber, split and wound the Jedi, or simply melt and injure the Jedi. Bombs are also useful, as not every Jedi can survive the blast or the shrapnel. Flamethrowers, too, are useful. Thanks, X-21. May I ask why you're curious to know me back? It's a ninja's job to learn everything about their comrades or enemies. I promise that I will not tell anyone of this. X-21. Ino reassured the droid and got on to the next patient. Training grounds. Commander Wolf was teaching the shinobi students and conscripted civilians on how to use blasters and detonators. Alright kids, what you must know is that when shooting a blaster, you must learn to aim. See your target with the scope and aim correctly. Your previous demonstration was absolutely horrible, Commander Wolf said, disappointed that the fresh recruits had the worst possible aim he had ever seen. Meatbags. A B1 battle droid said to his fellow droid who chuckled. Aim is what you must learn most. When throwing detonators, you must make sure it hits where you want them to. Got it? Commander Wolf asked. Sir, yes, sir. The recruit said as Commander Wolf prepared them for the fitness training. Revan watched as the old commander trained the conscripts and shinobi. He turned his head sideways to dodge an incoming attack from his surrogate little brother, Konohamaru Saratobi. Nice try, Kono, Revan said as the newly made Chunin hugged him. Yeah, I missed you too. Boss, I couldn't believe that it's really you. You finally returned, Konohamaru said, his eyes in tears. I have so many things to tell you and show you, boss. You wouldn't believe just how far I've come when you were away. And I can't wait to see it, Kono. Care to show me? You betcha, Konohamaru said and showed Revan all the things he learned from teachers like Jiraiya, including the Rasengan. MBU headquarters night. Are you sure you want to do this, Naruto? Yugao asked as Revan had wanted to spar with her. and 10 other of the Leaf's best ANBU. Tsunade, Jiraiya, and Shikakanara were there to observe the spar. Yugao was a bit worried as she might injure Naruto since she had interest in the blonde Jedi. "I'm certain of it." "What?" Revan asked as the others were looking at him. Revan was shirtless and wearing only his pants. His metallic right arm was also removed. "If you are concerned over the absence of my right arm, don't be. You will find my skills hold up even with my left arm. If you say so, Naruto." Yugao replied as she and her ANBU got their swords out. Revan took a standard katana and the spar began. The other ANBU thought it would be an easy win even though they were facing the Revan Morningstar, but they were mistaken. Not even 3 minutes and Revan had the entire YNBU members beaten. Tsunade and her advisors dropped their mouths in astonishment. The Leaf's best swordsman put down like nothing and Revan hardly tried. "Your skills were good. Do not let this defeat tell you otherwise or let hate and anger rule your mind. You can learn from your mistakes and improve. Your main weakness is your arrogance in the fact that you are ANBU of the Leaf. Arrogance and pride are the main reason you can lose a fight. Do not let it rule your mind." Revan lectured them. "We will keep that in mind. Thank you for the sparring match, Naruto," Yugao said, admitting her defeat. "I seem to notice that your fighting style is not of shinobi arts, Naruto. They are very intriguing. Lightsaber forms, Yugao, specifically made for Force users. There are 7 forms of the lightsaber. Form 1 is basic, mainly for blocking and deflecting blaster bolts and taught to all. Form 2 is purely offensive and utilizes footwork. Form 3 is defensive, used in close quarters and counterattack. Form 4 users specialize in acrobatics and fast strikes. Form 5 is for dominating a fight and purely offensive. Form 6 focuses on adaptability, while Form 7 is very aggressive strikes. Out of all these forms, Form 6 and 5 are my main with Form 3 and 2 as secondary. Form 4 needs more work while I'm terrible at 1 and 7. Revan explained, "Perhaps someday, I might teach you these techniques if you can improve your current skills, Yugao. Then I will increase my skills and earn the right to learn them, Naruto." Yugao replied in eagerness and humbly bowed before Revan as a sign of respect. After the sparring match, Revan returned home and slept. He had missions to do, so he needed to rest and be able to complete his tasks. Diplomatic missions, Hokage Tower, Leaf Village. "Naruto," Tsunade said, being a bit anxious at the news Revan had for her. "What do you have to tell me? When I told you I had urgent news, you didn't waste time. Good to know you actually take your job as Hokage seriously," Revan remarked. "On a business. Recent prisoner interrogations and information gathered from the last Uchiha raid has revealed to us that Sasuke Uchiha is planning a major military strike." "What?" Tsunade, Jiraiya, and Shikaku exclaimed loudly. Even Yugao, who was hiding in the room, was astonished to learn it. Shikakanara sighed in frustration and brooded. "Trouble sembrat." As if these border skirmishes aren't enough, Shikaka said. "That spoiled little weasel. It's barely a year, and his alliance lost not just Tobi, but 5,000 of Orochimaru's minions and over 80,000 white Zetsu," Tsunade remarked angrily. "He either has replenished his forces or is extremely stupid. Not just the Leaf, but also Stone, Cloud, and Mist," Revan said. "What? You wouldn't dare," Tsunade said. "Oh, believe me that Sasuke will, Lady Hokage. He's been building up his forces to more than 100,000 white Zetsu, and he has brainwashed thousands from the hidden grass, rain, and waterfall villages. If the data I gathered is true, he may have an army of over 150,000 in 3 weeks' time. He is focused on making more explosives and subjugating his troops with the Curse Seal," Revan informed them. "So, every skirmish with the different villages," concluded Jiraiya, "has been nothing but training and rehearsal. The real show begins in 3 weeks. What do we do, Tsunade?" "Naruto, it's obvious, Jiraiya," Tsunade said. "We strike first. I'll form several small task forces consisting of Chunin, Jonan, ANBU, and droids. We cut down their ranks and maybe eliminate Sasuke as well. Sharingan be damned. It has caused us more trouble than good. I would take that I will be leading one of these task forces, but you have a different mission for me, Lady Hokage." "What is it?" Revan asked. "Diplomacy, Naruto. The relationship between the sand is on thin ice. Wave, tea, vegetables, and some others are considering pulling out. Since you are very popular with the villages, I thought that maybe you could improve things with them. Maybe even get Demon and Spring Country to join. Perhaps an alliance with Mist Village too. I know it's too much, but you are the Leaf's only hope, Naruto. A pretty big task, but I accept nonetheless. I will leave tomorrow at morning. Revan said and left the office just as Yugao came to him. Yes, Miss Yugao? May I help you? I was wondering if you want to join me for lunch, Naruto. Yugao asked. Lunch? Are you asking me out on a date? Revan asked, and Yugao was a complete mess after he asked such a question. Date or not, I will happily accept. Revan said and followed Yugao to a bar and grill restaurant. So Naruto, how do my skills fare? Can you rate them out of a 10? Yugao asked. I'll give it a 6. Revan bluntly answered. Your skills are not bad, but your full potential is limited by the fact that you don't utilize your skills more. You are the Leaf's top ANBU. Your swordsmanship can benefit greatly if you use fast, agile strikes and utilize your flexibility more. Form 4 would suit you perfectly in conjunction with the skills you already possess. Can you teach me then? Yugao asked. You did not get mad at me pointing out your flaws, but accepted it and wanted to improve. That's good. Revan praised Yugao for her willingness to accept her own flaws. I will teach you form, for though I'm not really good with it. Perhaps we can improve each other's skills like a blade being sharpened. Revan said, and Yugao had a somewhat terrified expression when she saw her two friends, Anko and Kurenai, enter. Why did I have to see you with her here? Yugao asked in a low voice to Kurenai, referring to Anko. Hey Yugao, fancy seeing you here. Anko cheerfully said, then saw Revan. Who's your boy toy? She asked, and Yugao had to fight the urge to not lash out on Anko's antics. Revan Morningstar, formerly Naruto Uzumaki. Revan introduced himself. I remember you. You were the second proctor of the second part of the Chunin exams for years back. You cut my cheek and licked my blood. I have to brutally honest, but your scare tactics are child's play compared to the Imperial Security Bureau. Revan said, and then turned to Kurenai. Kurenai Saratobi. Team 8 Sensei. My condolences regarding Hinata, Kiba, and Asuma. They were kind people even though Kiba can get mildly annoying at times. Thank you, Naruto, Kurenai said. She wished Hinata was still alive to see that her crush. She wondered how Revan would take to Hinata's feelings. Forgive my friend's attitude, Naruto. She could be a handful at times. Yugao apologized and they ate their food and continued talking. They went to their homes, and Revan waited till the next day to go on his diplomatic mission. Wave Country, next day, the Great Naruto Bridge. The day in which Team 7 liberated the country, and we were celebrated as heroes. Revan commented as he saw the bridge. The old days. Kakashi-sensei, Banshee, and the duck. Now I'm the only one alive, Revan said and continued to walk. Accompanying him were Yugao, Shizuka, Guren, and Conan. They made their way to the house of the bridge builder named Tizuna, where Revan gave them the shock of their lives. Still making bridges to this day, old man, Revan said, and Tizuna turned his head to see none other than the blonde himself. No wonder why you are the greatest bridge builder of all time. Naruto? It's you. It's really you, Tizuna said and nearly crushed Revan's ribs in a tight, bear hug. Yeah, I missed you too. Air please, Revan said, gasping for air, and Tizuna released him. Sorry about that, but you're actually alive, Naruto. Everyone thought you were dead, but here you are. Tsunami and Inari are going to be so happy to see you, Tizuna said and called his daughter and grandson. His grandson, Inari, was happy to meet Revan once more and nearly cried when seeing the blonde. A nice, long talk over a cup of tea, a bit of storytelling, and some convincing later, Wave would strengthen its economic ties with the Leaf. Revan said his goodbyes to Tizuna's family and left for the Hidden Mist. Village hidden in the mist. Lady May, the Leaf envoys are here, said the 5th Mizukage right-hand man Ao. The Jonan who had the implanted Byakugan was May's lieutenant during the Civil War and was now her advisor on matters regarding the village. Send them in, Ao. May ordered and quickly made herself presentable. She did not expect the Leaf envoy to be none other than Revan Morningstar, and no one told her of his looks. Oh mama, he's gorgeous, her mind exclaimed. Lady Mizukage, thank you for accepting me here in your village, Revan said to May. Yo, you're welcome, Revan Morningstar. Please, Take a seat, May said, fighting her blush so as to not embarrass herself. I would like to discuss negotiations with you, Lady Mizukage, between the Leaf and Mist, Revan said, and entered into a somewhat fruitless conversation with May Terumi. Both villages had terrible conditions currently, and neither felt inclined to agree to a deal despite Revan's best efforts. Ultimately, Revan decided something had to happen. Your village is troubled by a sea monster. Yes, a gigantic kraken has been terrorizing the coast lately. Not even the Three Tails was able to beat it, May replied. After the tailed beasts were released, they bailed out of the fighting immediately. The only Jinchurikis to still be alive were Fu of Waterfall and Killer Bee of Cloud. Akatsuki never managed to catch them. The 3 and 6 Tails returned to Water Country, where May gave them her protection. The others were convinced by Gaara to stay in the hidden sand under his protection. Such was the political situation regarding the tailed beasts. Gaara did not make new Jinchurikis as he promised to protect them. His past experiences as one and Naruto's fate would not allow him to do such. A kraken, you say? This kraken is targeting the boats and scaring the fishes away. Yes, you're quite perceptive, Mr. Revan. Say, if I drove this creature away, would you agree to an alliance? Revan offered. Gladly, May replied. If anyone could drive the kraken away and make her village's condition better, she would pay whatever they demanded, even if it meant her. She was glad to see someone who might actually be able to do it. Eastern Sea, Water Country. Revan was on a small ship with his entourage and May and her guards. The Jedi meditated to draw the beast to him and connect their minds so that Revan could try to tame it. After some time, the waves started rising and low, and behold, the gigantic kraken had appeared. The shinobi on the ship drew their weapons, which angered the kraken, and the massive monster prepared to drown them. Do not draw your weapons. Revan shouted at them to stop. You are making it angrier. I know you are scared, but you are making the situation worse. Withdraw your weapons. Revan ordered them, and after they begrudgingly did, he telepathically connected with the kraken. After about a minute, the massive beast sunk back to the depths of the ocean. You sent it back? May asked, confused at what happened. We made an agreement. The beast awoke about a year back as the pollution was harmful for him. The constant dropping of wastes and mining of underwater fuel has angered him, so he decided to take revenge. Revan informed everyone. You must stop your harvesting of fuel and dumping of garbage, or else the kraken will return to destroy the village. Why should we believe you? A Miss Jonan asked. You are just a kid with no knowledge. The fuel is needed for our economy. Shut it. May told the Jonan, who promptly did so. Revan, is there another way to do this? The village needs the fuel to drive the economy. There is another way. I know of an alternate source of fuel. You can use that instead, and the Mist can have trade deals with wave, vegetable, and tea countries soon. You have my word, Revan told May. After another round of talks, the Mist decided to sign an official alliance with the Leaf Village. Village hidden in the sand. Identify yourselves, Gaara, the 5th Kazekage ordered. He was notified of an extremely powerful individual approaching by the tailed beasts. With his best ninja behind him, he intercepted them. Must we be so hostile towards each other, Gaara? Revan asked and revealed his face, which shocked Gaara and his siblings. Naruto? Is that really you? Gaara asked. It's really me. Revan replied and embraced Gaara's hug. I did not want to believe the rumors. I thought it was just some sick prank pulled by people who despised you, but it was true. I missed you, my friend, Gaara said. I know. We have much to discuss, Gaara, Revan said, and was welcomed inside the village. The talk with Gaara and Revan went on for about an hour and 45 minutes. First, they got up to speed with the other's life, and then to the negotiations. Revan offered Gaara blaster technology, new fuel types, and advanced machinery in exchange for an alliance. After that, Gaara talked with the Sand Village's council on what to do. Revan noticed Gaara's older brother Kankuro, and just to kill time, decided to help him. Another hour passed, and Gaara came out with his proposal. Did your council agree? Revan asked. On one condition that I set. Years ago, I told you that I would like to have a rematch with you, Naruto. If you can beat me a second time, the Sand will agree, Gaara said. Then I accept, Revan said, and was escorted outside to the desert for the rematch. Sand shower barrage. Gaara shot out bullets of sand, and Revan used the force to increase his jumping prowess. The Force abilities phase and flow, walking allowed Revan to become intangible and float to keep up with Gara. Revan got close to Gara and attempted to fight him hand-to-hand, but it seemed Gara took notes after his fight with Lee. Gara had a pretty good taijutsu style and managed to block Revan's strikes. Revan jumped back just as Gara's sand came, and he cut it with his lightsaber. The flaming blue sword of Revan Morningstar. So you finally decided to use it. Gara commented as he shot more sand. Revan cut the sand bullets apart with speed that no one could see. Sand burial. Gara managed to trap Revan in a massive sand trap. Clever trick, Gara, but I too have my tricks. Revan said beneath the sand and unleashed a force lightning burst. Gara was caught off guard at the sudden surge of lightning. Revan shot lightning at Gara, whose sand was unable to protect him. Revan jumped straight at Gara and then punched him hard across the face. Gara was sent flying a few dozen feet away. Revan pointed his lightsaber at Gara and smirked. "I take it I win?" he asked and put out his hand. "Yes, I accept defeat, Naruto." "You got yourself a deal," Gara said, and Revan smiled. After that, Revan left the sand and returned home. Revan versus the Hidden Cloud. Hokage Tower. Hidden Leaf. After Revan had successfully made negotiations with the other nations, he led some task forces in raiding Sasuke's underground bases. No doubt the Uchiha was furious at the loss of slaves, experiments, and soldiers. The manpower was reduced but still low compared to the tens of thousands that Sasuke still had. About a week and a half after Revan's successful mission, the Raikage of the Hidden Cloud had become somewhat bold and demanded from the Leaf some demands as a way of appeasement. Mainly Hayashi's other daughter, Hanabi Hyuga, the return of Jonan Samui, the surrender of the advanced technology, and a few more. Given the Leaf's still weakened state, and the Cloud having the 8 tails and a super chakra weapon, he believed the Leaf to just accept. One small mistake, however, was that though Tsunade was still the village leader, most of the shots was called Revan. "In accordance with your demands, 4th Raikage," Revan said to the Raikage over on the screen. "It is denied." "You brat," the Raikage roared in anger. "My demands are not harsh. Give them to me, and I will not destroy your weak village with the hidden stone." I see a bully trying to intimidate those weaker than himself. Only this time, we stand firm in ourselves and are rid of our fears. Then I will come with my whole army down upon you, with the 8 tails and my chakra weapon, the Raikage threatened. "Do not be proud of this technological terror you created, Raikage, for the ability to destroy a planet is insignificant next to the power of the Force. Various governments of ages past have constructed superweapons, but all of them were powered by the Force. I warn you, stop your quest of power, and I will spare your village." The Raikage scoffed. "You think a mere child like you can stop me? I don't care if you're the Revan Morningstar, slayer of demons, hero of the people, or not. I will come and destroy the Leaf and carry my rewards. We shall see. We shall see," Revan said and ended the call. "Nice talking, Naruto, but even with your droids, we are still severely outmatched," Tsunade said, skeptical if her village can take on both Cloud and Stone. There was also the fear of Sasuke joining in as well. "Don't be afraid, Lady Hokage. I will deal with this problem. X-21, prepare my ship. When the Cloud starts to move, I'll intercept them," Revan said, and used the satellites to learn of the Cloud and Stone's movements. 2 days of continuous analyzing, and Revan finally decided to act. The Cloud had its navy move out, and then were to meet up with the Stone's new Tsuchikage, the Stone Ninjas and Stone Navy in the east, near Water Country. Revan would destroy the 2 fleets and then face the 2 armies head-on. East Coast, near Water Country. The 2 armies met up and the ships docked near the island. The Raikage A and the Tsuchikage were planning on their strategies when they heard a noise far away. A black blur moved extremely fast towards the ships and then started firing at a small ship, destroying it. "Revan," the Raikage said hatefully. "Shoot that flying trash can out of the sky," he shouted, ordering his men to kill Revan. Revan flew up to the sky and then downwards, shooting the ships and then dropped proton torpedoes. The torpedo pierced the ship's armor and then exploded, taking out 2 smaller ships with it. Revan flew and blasted the ships continuously, destroying more of them. He prepared the Umbaran plasma missiles which, in combination with the explosive tags, caused massive explosions. Revan flew up towards the island mountains to avoid incoming jutsu from the Cloud Ninjas. He flew towards them again, spinning and blasting ships to shreds. Give me missiles, Revan said, and his companion prepared the missiles. Revan shot the missiles, which blew up large ships in an instant. He was blasting, and the ninja on the ship were massacred. Revan shot more missiles, and the last of the ships were destroyed. "Oh," exclaimed Tintin, annoying Jiraiya and Conan. "That was awesome. When can we release these?" she asked in reference to the scrolls containing hundreds of detonators. "Hang on. Get them ready," Revan said and shot missiles at the Stone Cloud encampment. He then flew upwards, avoiding the 8-tail strikes and out of the tail beast bomb's range. "Now!" Revan said, and all three released dozens of scrolls. The scrolls unsealed hundreds detonators and explosive kunai, which bombarded the two armies. Hundreds were brutally massacred. Revan, wearing his full armor, stood out atop his ship and faced them. "Naruto, you have a ship. Why not just blast them?" Jiraiya asked, wondering why his student didn't just blast the Raikage. "The Raikage wants to face me personally. I will give him the fight of his life," Revan replied, jumping out of the Dawnseeker and activated the deflector shields. "Now, you will die, Morning Star," the Raikage shouted, and his minions came charging to attack Revan. Revan ignited his lightsaber and charged at the army. He sliced the first three and then unleashed Force lightning on them. He force-pushed some back and then jumped up and started cutting many into pieces. He flew up via his jetpack and took out his blaster. He was firing at them and threw some detonators. He unleashed his flamethrower and cut a mud dragon apart. His armor protected him from a wind attack, and he threw back an incoming fireball. Revan flew upwards to avoid the 8-tail strikes and towards the sea. There, Revan patiently waited, and once the 8-tails was near, his friend, the Kraken, came out to attack the 8-tails. "Thank you, friend," Revan said, as he didn't consider the Kraken a pet, but a friend. He telepathically warned his Kraken friend about the 8-tails tail beast bomb, then flew back to fight the ninjas. Revan charged himself up and then unleashed Force lightning in a massive burst. He disintegrated dozens in a single attack, then avoided the Raikage's fast attack. Revan heard a battle cry and saw hundreds of Leaf Ninja and battle droids come to fight alongside him. "You brat!" the Raikage shouted. "I will kill you for this slaughter." Gale-style laser circuits. The Raikage's second top Jonan, Darui of the Black Lightning, shot out laser missiles, but Revan's armor protected him. Thank the Force, he had it upgraded with Snow Country's chakra armor, courtesy of Koyuki. Lariat Bolt of Pain, chop. A struck at Revan, who dodged the strike, but barely. Revan struck at the Raikage with his lightsaber, but was shocked to see it unable to pierce the lightning armor. Unexpected, but it didn't mean he was out of options. Revan used his lightsaber to block the Raikage's fast and powerful blows. He flew up and fired his flame thrower to distract the Raikage. He threw detonators that caused an explosion, and then he used his jetpack and chakra shield to ram the Raikage through a boulder. The Raikage in anger punched Revan hard, several feet away, and then charged at him. Revan shot out Force lightning to shock the Raikage, though the lightning armor sort of prevented that. Revan took his option and infused his lightning into his lightsaber to make his lightning saber. He surged forward at the Raikage, then managed to pierce the lightning armor with help from the Force, and then the Raikage's own flesh. "Now sleep," Revan said, and used the Force to dominate the Raikage's mind, making him fall asleep. Killer Bee and the last of the Cloud Ninja came to their leader's side. "He is not dead, just knocked out. Take him and return to the Cloud. Strike again, and I will not show the same mercy for a second time." Revan warned them, and they wisely decided to retreat. After that, the Leaf Force went back home. Revan felt Sasuke's plan of attack approaching and his old master at his death. End of Sasuke Part 1. A meteor had entered the atmosphere of Elemental Prime and was above the Eastern Sea. Revan had used the Force to bring in a meteor in the nearby asteroid belt that was rich in fuel. The meteor came crashing into the sea, which was cleared of all human occupants. Revan used the Force again to reduce the strength of the meteor, but it still caused a big enough tide. Revan ran as fast as he could to avoid the waves and succeeded in doing that. After this, specialized miners and operators were sent in to finish the deal. That's the last of them, Revan said as the team were coming in, high-fiving him as they came. Big Johnny, Kalo, Frankie Pitchain. Revan called out some names and sat down for a cold drink. Unidentified location. Damn that bastard. Sasuke shouted in anger at the loss of his bases. His white Zetsu production and Curse Seal minions was botched, and his slave labor were gone. He was furious, and there was only one thing he could do. Naruto, Revan, I don't care what you call yourself, but you will pay for this dearly. What are you going to do, sir? A Curse Seal soldier asked. There are still 95,000 white Zetsu left. Attack the Leaf in full force, Sasuke ordered. But sir, the Leaf's defenses are too heavy. The Curse Seal soldier screamed in pain as the black flames of Amaterasu consumed him. I don't care, Sasuke shouted in anger. I want that village burned no matter how many lives it takes. I want to see their proud mountain destroyed. I want to hear their children scream as I slaughter them. I want that Senja bitch, her followers, and especially Revan's head on a spike. Hokage Tower, Hidden Leaf. Tsunade along with Jiraiya and Shikaku Nara entered the war room to discuss future plans, and they saw Revan looking at the galaxy map. Tsunade decided to ask what he was doing. Naruto, good morning. What are you doing? Good morning to you too, Lady Hokage. Master Jiraiya and advisor Shikaku. I'm working on a hyperspace lane, Revan said as he continued cross-checking data. Hyperspace lanes? Tsunade asked. I thought you could just fly wherever you in space. Not quite. Space is full of gravitational anomalies, black holes, star clusters, and nebulas. Hyperspace lanes are made so that ships can jump in a safe way. Revan explained, and all three still had difficulty believing the worst student of his batch and possibly the dumbest kid they ever knew now was extremely intelligent with more knowledge of space and technology than their planet did in the past 1,000 years. Care to explain a bit clearer, Naruto? Shikaku asked. We aren't used to the advanced technology like you, so we don't really understand these big words. My apologies, Revan said before explaining. When a ship enters hyperspace, it's in a different dimension but still capable of being affected by things in the real world like all the things I mentioned before. It's called a gravity or interdiction field, as a strong gravitational force will be able to pull ships out of hyperspace. Hyperspace lanes have been charted over numerous tries, fails, explorations, and calculations over the millennia for the safest routes. It's like a road. You can go anywhere, but only one way is truly safe. If you understand my logic. When charting a lane, you must be extremely careful, as even a decimal mistake can prove to be extremely dangerous. So that's why when you showed me those planetary blockades, Jiraiya said, understanding Revan's words, the ships are stationed only on one part of the planet. Ships can only enter and exit from a specific location. I get it now. I'm glad you did despite your perverted nature, Revan said, then got up. I have to help Rock Lee and Konoha train, so I'll leave if there isn't anything you require of me, Revan said and phased through the wall. Leaf's training grounds. 27 minutes after Revan left the war room, he went to the training grounds to oversee Rock Lee and Konoha and his teammates' training. Rock Lee was still recovering from his previous injuries, but was fit enough to train. Rock Lee was trying his best to stay upside down, standing on one finger. Almost got it. Wah! Rock Lee shouted as he lost his balance. Another try. It was then that Revan decided to use Yoda's teachings on Rock Lee and the Konoha Corp. Do or do not, there is no try, Revan said, confusing all for who were training and the other Jonan watching them. But boss, why can't we try? Konoha asked. It was my master's motto, not mine, Revan said. What he means is that we are too afraid of failing that we hide it by saying it was just a try. When we do something, whether fail or succeeds, do not be afraid of the former. Fail or not, it's a part of life, and do not be afraid to call it a try. Again, Revan advised, and all four did so. It was then that Revan experienced a disturbance in the Force. It felt like, Master Yoda, Revan muttered, then he realized what he had to do. I'm afraid I have something to do, he said and left the area, calling X-21 and BB-4. Prepare the Dawnseeker. It's urgent. Tell the Hokage that I have an urgent matter to attend to, Revan said, and once the Dawnseeker was ready, he flew to Dagobah. Hokage Tower. 30 minutes later. Naruto left? Tsunade asked. He'll return, Shizuka reassured her. He said that it was an extremely urgent matter that needed his attention, but he promised he will come back. I hope so, Shizuka, Tsunade said. I can't allow that brat to go missing once more. Boom, boom, boom. What the dash, Tsunade said as she saw explosions near the village. She quickly contacted her assistant, Shizun. What's going on over there? White Zetsu. Shizun shouted on the radio. White Zetsu and Cur Seal soldiers have triggered the defenses, Lady Tsunade. Damn, that spoiled Uchiha. Tsunade Cur Sasuke. Deploy every available shinobi and droids, Shizun. If Sasuke wants a slaughter, I'll give him one. Dagobah. The Dawn Seeker arrived and landed on the swampy planet. Revan quickly got out his ship and ran to his old master's hut. He noticed the X-Wing starfighter, then quickly entered, and there was a light blonde-haired man besides Yoda. Master Yoda, I've returned, Revan said as the old Grandmaster used the last of his strength to look at his student. Van, Yoda muttered in a happy tone. Came back to visit me, you did. Missed you. I have. Luke, my other student, Revan Morningstar. Luke Skywalker. I finally got to meet you, Revan said as he shook Luke's hand. Revan, pleasure's all mine, Luke replied. The fate of the Jedi in your hands it is. Complete your respective journeys, you must. Be with you always, I will be. Yoda leaned back on his bed, and he breathed his last and became one with the Force. Revan mourned for his master there, comforted by Luke Skywalker. After that, both got out of the hut to talk. The rebuilding of the Jedi Order is in our hands, Luke, Revan told his ally. We must make sure the mistakes of the old order are not repeated, but until then, we must finish our journeys. The Alliance could use someone like you, Revan. We are launching a raid on the second Death Star. Maybe you could join us, Luke offered. Thanks, but I have some things to do. Your task, Luke, is to bring your father back from the dark side. My task is to free my home from the darkness that has engulfed it. Once I am finished with my task, I will join the rebellion. Here, Revan gave Luke a data card. It will show you the way to my planet. Once the Death Star is destroyed, I am certain that I would have succeeded in my task. Until we meet again, Luke, and give General Syndulla my regards. I will. May the Force be with you, Revan, Luke said, and went to talk with Obi-Wan's ghost while Revan returned to his ship. Okay, BB4, punch the coaxium, Revan said so that he could jump back to his home as quickly as possible. Leaf Village, Elemental Prime. Rock Lee kicked a cursed seal berserker high up in the air and followed him. Lee kicked him down to the ground, and the impact snapped his neck, killing him. He jumped to his left to help his trapped teammate Tintin. He kicked a white Zetsu in the head, then another one. There's too many of them, Tintin shouted as she unleashed another hail of kunai. Fear the power of youth that radiates from the second green beast of prey, Rock Lee shouted and then protected Tintin's flanks. Revan had told him that when facing too many enemies, it was better to let Tintin lessen the number while protecting her. An advice he took to heart since he was still slightly injured. Come on, Spike Freaks. Take a load of my blaster, you brainless organic droids, Clone Medic Kick shouted, protecting the Leaf Hospital alongside Ino Yamanaka and blasting the enemies to oblivion. Kabong, nice on, miss, Kick said, praising Ino's aim when she threw the detonator that took out 15 white Zetsu. Thanks, Kix, Ino said as she helped Kix blast the incoming hordes of Sasuke's soldiers. Come on, freaks. It's an all-you-can-eat buffet of blasters. Don't be shy to take seconds, Ino said as she threw another detonator. Leaf Village Alley. Just another day in the droid army, a battle droid commander said to his troops as the children were leading several dozen white Zetsu towards them. When they arrived, the children got down and they aimed. Blast them. Roger, roger. The battle droids then opened fire, and the white Zetsu cannon fodder were eliminated. Good job, boys. You two meatbags, the commander said, and the droids moved out to face the enemy. Hokage Tower. Yugao, get a few men down to that alley. We need to join the fight. X-21, can you help us? Tsunade asked. I was programmed for war, meatbag. Let me show you what a true, heartless being can do. X-21 said as he grabbed a berserker by his throat then slammed his head down onto a rock, squashing it like tomato. X-21 took out his blasters then went on a killing spree. X-21 shot 11 white Zetsu dead and then threw a fire that burned more. He kicked a Curseal monster down then shot her in the head. X-21 flew up and his torso started spinning and he unleashed hell. X-21 had killed 100 white Zetsu and dozens of Sasuke's cursed seal monsters in a few seconds. Remind me to never piss that droid off, Jiraiya whispered to Shikaku, who was equally stunned to see the massacre. Duly noted, Shikaku replied back. Leaf Village main square. Come on, you nerf herders. I fought rusted clankers harder than you with my bare hands, Commander Wolf said as he fought alongside his special unit, the Wolf Pack. He shot dozens down and threw detonators as his Wolf Pack held the line. Wolves! His troopers shouted as they slowly advanced against the white Zetsu horde. Just like the boys, Commander Wolf said as he did a wolf howl and lead his troops to victory. The Dawnseeker had returned and dropped proton bombs on the main Zetsu force. Revan jumped down and beheaded a cursed seal berserker on a rooftop. He saw the ANBU under Yugao near his position try to fall back, but were aided by the girls. Conan threw hundreds of paper bombs while Kuratsuchi melted them. Ryuzetsu used a fire jutsu, Samui a lightning dragon. Giran trapped them while Shizuka used her Kenjutsu and wind-enhanced Taijutsu to eliminate a dozen opponents. As they were being overwhelmed, Revan jumped down and used Force Lightning in a big burst to disintegrate 100 white Zetsu. Revan/Naruto, the girls, including Yugao, exclaimed, happy to see the blonde Jedi return. I always keep my promises, girls, Revan said as he lifted up a dozen white Zetsu into a ball and electrocuted them to death. He took out his lightsaber and in blinding speed, cut down 50 of them. Revan stopped a powerful fire and earth jutsu, and then used the force to enhance them with lightning and threw them back. He cut through a horde of them, but it was becoming clearer that there was just too many of them. Naruto, there's too many of them. We're being overwhelmed. Do you have plans? Yugao asked. I have only one, Yugao, and I will finish it, Revan said as he put his hands together then stretched his arms out. A wind came over the village as slowly but surely the tens of thousands of white Zetsu and hundreds of cursed seal minions were lifted off the ground. The sky grew darker till the clouds and light disappeared and it became like the night. Lightning came on Revan's hand as he shot out a powerful stream of pale force lightning that killed more than 2/3 of Sasuke's mindless troops. Revan! Shizuka shouted her husband's name as he fell down, a bit exhausted, and she grabbed his arm. The last of the white Zetsu were then eliminated shortly afterwards. Revan recovered quickly and knew that the time to end Sasuke Uchiha was near. End of Sasuke Part 2. Are we certain? Tsunade asked. Sasuke Uchiha is here? She asked as Jiraiya's spies and Leaf Scouts have reported Sasuke's current whereabouts, which was near Fire Country. Yeah, they're making camp right now. Jiraiya confirmed the report's authenticity. What concerns me is the fact that Sasuke has also sent 5,000 white Zetsu and a few dozen cursed seal warriors to attack the sand. What do you have to report? Anko. Interrogations told us that he sent them to capture the tailed beasts. Coincides with a project of the Brats, though we still don't know what it is about, Anko said, and Revan entered the room. It's part of Sasuke's Project Armageddon, Revan said, and through notes from scientists who formerly worked with Orochimaru and then Sasuke. X-21 revealed the location of the main base hidden in grass country. After a short raid, I found these notes. Sasuke plans to recreate the 10 Tails and become its Jinchuriki. He wants to become a god. He even planned to have the Reaper mask stolen to control the previous Hokages, Kakashi-sensei and Tobi, if it meant his plan would succeed. And we stopped him, Shikaka said, but pondered on one thing. Still, Sasuke easily had the largest army ever assembled, but he directed most of them to the Leaf. If he attacked the sand and mist instead to capture the tailed beasts and maybe even the cloud, he could have succeeded. Guess he hates the Leaf so much that he threw away his tactical advantage just to see this place burned. First time Sasuke saved the world, Revan said jokingly. However, we cannot remain idle. I got word from the Rebel Alliance that the Empire is closing in on wild space to uncharted territories. If they find out about this planet, they will strip it of its dunium and enslave everyone. The experiments they will conduct on ninjas will be horrific. But there is a silver lining. They don't have the hyperspace lanes that I made, and once the Alliance wins the Battle of Ender, we can officially join them. Dunium is one of the only things we have to offer in the galactic stage, Let's hope they don't exploit us, Tsunade commented as she knew the power-hungry and greedy nature of politicians. I will see to it that they will not. Besides Dunium, we also have large amounts of iridium. But if we are to join the wider galaxy, all the nations must come to an agreement. I'm sure you can handle that, Lady Hokage, Revan said. You're giving me one hell of a headache, Naruto, Tsunade replied, chuckling. But it'll be worth it. Care to settle old scores with your former rival? I assure you, Lady Hokage, all games end today. Valley of the End. Sasuke, as well as his entourage of 50 cursed seal warriors, were trekking through the forest, and they stopped. On the other side was a robed figure. He knew who this person was. It was Revan, or rather Naruto. His former teammate dropped the robe and revealed his full-body armor. You finally decided to show yourself, huh, Naruto? Sasuke taunted. Been years since we fought here, hasn't it? I'll admit that it was a draw. Both of us didn't win. Are you mad that useless pink trash Sakura is dead? She wasn't even worth impregnating, but I still slept with her because you had a silly crush on her. I grew out it a long time ago, Revan simply replied. Knowing her, she'll screech to anyone and say it was an amazing thing to be killed by you. Sasuke laughed maniacally at that. Oh, you are right, Naruto. But this is where you die, and I go on to destroy the leaf. Eliminate him. Sasuke ordered his warriors to attack Revan, and they leapt at him. Revan shot out force lightning that killed the first 15 of them, and then ignited his lightsaber. He jumped forward and then cut 2 more. He landed on the cliffside and ran to avoid a powerful fire dragon jutsu. He jumped and impaled a berserker right in the heart and stood on the water, using flow walking to help him stand. A cursed seal warrior came, and Revan jumped up just as another one came and accidentally killed the first. Revan quickly beheaded the second one and stood in a circle surrounded by the others. Blaster bolts came down firing his X. 21 used his blasters to kill them. Revan threw detonators that exploded and then cut the last one down. Useless pieces of trash. Sasuke shouted in anger at how they were unable to kill Revan. Fine, I'll just have to kill you myself, Naruto. Sasuke roared as he came down, his sword enlaced with lightning. Revan used the force to hold Sasuke's sword and then threw him away. Revan ignited his lightsaber and blocked Sasuke's strikes. Sasuke jumped back and shot multiple fireballs at Revan, who dodged them. Amaterasu. Sasuke shot out the black flames, but Revan used a force shield to negate the attack. Sasuke charged and fought Revan to a duel. Their swings were hard, fast as lightning flashes with quick turns and twists, but Revan was the better swordsman. Damn you! Sasuke roared as his purple Susanoo came to life. Die! He angrily roared as the Susanoo shot arrows at Revan. Revan stopped the arrows mid-air and then redirected them back at the Susanoo. The Susanoo was still powerful, however, and Sasuke manifested it to full humanoid and attacked Revan. The blonde Jedi jumped up as he avoided the sword's swing, then used phase to enter the Susanoo, shocking Sasuke. Revan then electrocuted Sasuke, but the Uchiha proved to be able to withstand it. Revan then dropped detonators and quickly got out the Susanoo. Sasuke jumped out as well, but his back was heavily damaged. Damn you! Sasuke roared as his Susanoo came to life again. Revan quickly called upon his force lightning, and at once, he shot it at the Susanoo. Cracks started to form, and Sasuke couldn't believe that his Susanoo could crack. A rocket from Revan's jetpack destroyed the Susanoo, and Revan quickly charged to cut off Sasuke's left arm. He then kicked Sasuke to the cliff and threw rocks at the Uchiha. No, I can't. Form the Izanagi. I can't. Die here? Sasuke thought in fear as Revan approached him. For your crimes against the world, Sasuke Uchiha, which includes but not limited to rape, mass theft, homicide, genocide, unethical experimentations, forced labor, brainwashing of people including children, and international terrorism. You are sentenced to death. No, please. Sasuke begged for his life. I'll do anything you want. Just let me live. Sasuke pleaded, but in one fell swoop, was beheaded by Revan's lightsaber. This is Revan calling the Leaf War Council. Do you read? Revan communicated the Leaf. This is Jiraiya. Did you win, Naruto? Jiraiya asked over on the comm link. Yeah, Sasuke is dead. Revan replied, then buried Sasuke's corpse before returning to the village. Hidden Leaf Village. Luke Skywalker in his X-Wing, along with a rebel frigate, entered Elemental Prime. Luke descended to the surface following Revan's data card instructions and landed on a platform. Revan came to meet Luke himself. "Luke, I take it you won the Battle of Endor," Revan stated, and Luke smiled. "Was there any doubt, Revan?" "No. I had full confidence the Alliance would succeed. Your father, redeemed. Darth Vader is gone. Anakin Skywalker has returned." Luke answered, and Revan nodded his head. "So, will you join the Alliance now, Revan?" "I think it's about time I do." The finale, current year, 9 ABY. The galactic civil war rages on. It had been 9 years since the Battle of Yavin, in which the first Death Star was destroyed by the Alliance to restore the Republic. 5 years since the Battle of Endor, in which Emperor Palpatine and Darth Vader both perished along with the second Death Star. The planet of Elemental Prime joined the Alliance soon afterwards and helped the rebels in the war. After Palpatine's death, the Empire split up into multiple different regions as Imperial commanders carved out their own territories. Grand Vizier Sate Pestage tried to keep the Empire unified, but few Imperials followed his orders or recognized him. His second-in-command, Isan Isard, head of Imperial intelligence, would betray him. Coruscant had fallen to the Alliance. Now the New Republic and Isard fled the planet aboard the secret superstar destroyer, Lysankia, hidden beneath Coruscant's surface. However, New Republic forces eventually captured the Lysankia, making it the most powerful ship in the Alliance Navy, and the wife of Wedge Antilles would kill Isard. Of the different warlord, none were as powerful as Warlord Zinj. A brilliant military genius, he carved out the largest splinter faction with a superstar destroyer called the Iron Fist at his command. He was high on the Republic's target list. Eventually, Zinj would be killed in 8 ABY in the Battle of Dathomir, where Han Solo delivered the finishing shot. Other factions included the Greater Maul Druid and the Pentastar alignment, but none posed a threat as great as that presented by Grand Admiral Thrawn. The last Grand Admiral currently alive, Thrawn unified much of the Empire and went on a campaign to destroy the New Republic and establish his own empire. Many Imperial factions, save the Pentastar alignment, joined Thrawn, and he was in the position to destroy the New Republic. But as fate would have it, the Republic still had one last piece of hope. Ezra Bridger's transmission revealed the location of Exegol. On that dark planet, Sith cultists and loyal Imperials were building a shadow fleet with the most powerful ship in existence, the Eclipse-class dreadnought. Hidden in that planet were clones of Palpatine, as well as plans for Operation Shadow Hand. The dreadnought and the ships may very well be the New Republic's one hope of victory against Thrawn. The Chiss Grand Admiral had already decided where the final battle will be held: the shipyards of Bilbringi. It was up to Revan Morningstar and his strike force to infiltrate Exegol, destroy the Palpatine clones, secure the dreadnought, and bring it to Bilbringi as quickly as they can. Exegol, unknown regions. The Dawnseeker led a strike force of 3 squadrons of X-Wings, a squad of Y-Wings, a few frigates, and 2 cruisers to secure the ships on Exegol. Plan was to eliminate the forces present and then commandeer the ships. The strike force arrived on Exegol, and Revan felt cold upon seeing the planet. Exegol, if there is a dark center of the galaxy, this is it, Revan muttered as he contacted his strike force. "We're here, boys and girls. Commander Bridgers says this is the place." His strike team included his friends from his planet. The girls, Team 10, Shino Aburaim, Rock Lee, Tintin, Gara, and his siblings were there as part of his strike team. Given that Exegol's defenses and manpower was unknown, he needed all the help he could muster. "This is Blue Leader, standing by Revan," the leader of one of the X-Wings said on the comms. Readings show, strangely enough, that there are no orbital defense stations, but the ground, particularly the Citadel, is full of turbo lasers and other cannons. "We first strike there first. Have the ground units ready for deployment," Revan said as the Dawnseeker and the Starfighters came down to face the Citadel defenses. "Launch ion torpedoes. Disable the Citadel," Revan ordered, and the ships did so. The Citadel was disabled, and the ground forces landed on the planet. Soldiers transported to Exegol had came out to attack them in overwhelming numbers, but Gara could take care of that. Sand tsunami. He made a gigantic wave of sand that attacked the stormtroopers. The strike force then continued moving forward as the Starfighters provided cover for them, destroying the deployed walkers. Revan jumped out the Dawnseeker and then cut the legs of an AT-AT. He threw grenades which blew up a dozen stormtroopers and charged into the citadel. Tenten threw up scrolls, and both Temari and Shizuka used a wind jutsu to blow them to the stormtroopers. The scrolls contained bombs that blew up the ground defenses. The strike force managed to get inside the citadel and blast the troopers coming to intercept them. After 20 minutes of fighting, the citadel was in Republic hands. They entered the lower levels to find the Palpatine clones and the hidden ships. So many ships, all constructed in secret for Operation Shadow Hand. The Emperor's return, Revan remarked. Has the eclipse been located? Yeah, here in orbit on the far side of the planet. Wedge Antilles said over on the comms. Putting coordinates now. See you on Coruscant, Revan. I'll see you there. Revan replied and turned off his comms. Place detonators on the cloning tubes. Hack the system to know anything of use. Plant the control system into as many of the ships as possible and meet back on Coruscant. Sir, the Republic soldiers saluted Revan and went to their duties. The Elemental Strike Force also helped the soldiers. Within minutes, at least 20 Allegiance-class Star Destroyers were hacked with a few more other ships. The rest of the Citadel was planted with bombs. They flew out the planet with the ships following them, and they blew up the Citadel, destroying Palpatine's clones and one step closer to the end of the war. Epilogue. After the ships jumped to Coruscant, special crew were sent to operate the ships. The newly gathered fleet went to Bilbringi to help the Republic Navy end Thrawn. In a twist of events, however, Grand Admiral Thrawn was assassinated and his forces retreated. The Galactic Civil War lasted another 3 years till the signing of the Galactic Concordance. The Imperial remnant under Galad Pelion were officially recognized as a legitimate government, and both sides ended hostilities. The New Order under Luke Skywalker and Revan grew to be better than the old one, reforming its traditions so as to not repeat the mistakes of the past. Unlike the old order, the new one was not active in galactic politics, instead staying true to their role as peacekeepers. Luke married Mara Jade, and Revan had multiple wives, his children becoming strong in the Force and trained to become Jedi like their father. The data plans on Exegol revealed a threat called the Far Outsiders, or the Yuuzhan Vong coming in from outside the galaxy. With this information in hand, both the New Republic and Imperial Remnant built up their forces to combat the Vong. When the Vong did invade, the galaxy was prepared, but over 155 trillion people would perish. The new Jedi themselves were barely able to give an advantage, but in the end, the galaxy had prevailed. Revan Morningstar, or Naruto Uzumaki, had lived a very long and prosperous life. He saw the 5th generation of his family and breathed his last and became one with the Force. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed exploring this What If with me. If you did, please consider leaving a like and subscribing for more videos like this. Your support truly makes a difference, and I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. Let me know what you'd like to see next. Until next time, take care and stay tuned for more.